What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. So, the evolution of Myron Gaines has been a great thing to watch. Starting on the Fresh and Fit podcast, Myron has grown into one of the most prominent voices in the red pill space. Yesterday, Myron spoke on the University of South Carolina campus and took on all coomers. He had to endure some of the typical left-wing trolling, but he ended up having a robust discussion with some of the students about his views on life, current events, and the dating market. That's what we're going to look at today. And guys, this is some of the funniest stuff I have seen in a while on the internet, so buckle up. Okay, so we're going to watch from the beginning. So Myron goes on and he's debating some of these college students. Let me start here.
Before, this guy's a misogynist.
Okay.
He's picking up and finally questioning a lot of these women that are just looking for a come up. But yeah, anyway, besides me just yapping, anyone that wants to come up and, challenge one of my views or agrees, disagrees, give your 2 cents, you're more than welcome. I think all of you guys are, somewhat smart. You're here in college, right? Unless you cheated on your SATs. But is this still SATs or ACTs now? It's SAT. Okay. Damn, I'm old. So I know different places take the ACT, but yeah. Oh, look at that. Everybody's scared, man. They're mad before.
I know, it's so crazy. Sometimes I'll get messages on Instagram and, they'll be super angry and I say, hey, call in. Call in, ladies. Let's put your money where your mouth is. Call in. They never do, ever.
As a misogynist.
People always say, Pearl, do people come up to you in the street? I'm like, one, I'm not that famous. And two, I've only had like 2 negative interactions because people are kind of scared, especially women.
He's a sexist. Yeah, people were all pissed before, though, and now everybody's scared. But the reality is sexism is good, actually. It's actually good, yeah. No, it is. Sexism actually benefits women. It doesn't benefit men whatsoever. Because here's the thing with sexism and equality and egalitarianism that we kind of have right now with our progressive society. So the way it benefits women is because it basically evens the playing field, right? So what ends up happening with sexism is women are able to kind of double dip. They're able to enjoy the chivalry, the gentleman type treatment, and, be a lady when it suits them, but they're also able to go ahead and enter the workforce and behave like a man and pursue that. So they're basically able to double dip, and a big part of that is from the sexism, right? Because they're able to kind of get the best of both worlds. So sexism in itself inherently benefits women, because if they actually have to compete with men, they lose. I mean, look at the you literally see them like professional athletes that are females losing to high school boys in competition. So if we had to go ahead and just go off of straight meritocracy, we would have one sports league and women would never be able to participate. Like, that's the reality, right? And I remember when I was in college myself, I
actually think they should ban women's sports, even though I played in them. And it's because women are becoming so ungrateful for them. I mean, they subsidize the league altogether. We're lucky we even have a league. And now we're complaining we don't make enough money. The audacity.
One athlete, I rode at Northeastern, and, the women's team got a significant amount of money. Oh, we have what's up, man? How are you? I guess I could come into that after.
It's my work.
What's up, bro?
Work. I seen some of your podcasts and stuff like that. I haven't watched the full thing, but I really just want to know, why do you think women deserve less? Because it's like a controversial. Obviously, it's going to catch people's attention.
Sure.
They see it.
Sure. When I say women deserve less, it's for a multitude of different reasons, but I'll just focus on, let's say dating for now, right? So guys have this, warped ideology that being a gentleman and being super nice and, being caring makes you more attractive to women. But the reality is, attraction and arousal are 2 different things. And by being a nice guy, what ends up happening a lot of times is you get stuck in the friend zone. And what I tell guys, and I talk about this in my book, guys got to give women less. If you look at the cover, I have money there, relationships, social media, and time. And the reason for that is because we live in a deregulated sexual marketplace. And what that basically means is, assuming two parties have the age of consent, anyone could hook up. Now, we thought this would be a good idea in the 60s with the explosion of feminism and birth control, et cetera. But what ended up happening was when you leave women to their own devices, they date the best guys that they can get. And that problem's been exacerbated as they become more educated and made more money. So it's left a lot of normal guys out of the realm. So what I tell guys is you need a woman that's going to reciprocate that attention, because we're in a position now where they have all the leverage, and a lot of guys are over here courting and dealing with women that quite frankly don't deserve it. So when I say women deserve less, there's other aspects too, but that's what I mean, as in like dating, don't simp on women that already get everything given to them. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, isn't that just like a generalization though? Because I feel like it's case specific with every person. Like when you say that, it's like you matching one archetype of men with another archetype of women, and then you making that the case for everybody.
Well, I think the world operates on generalities, right? There's a reason why Braille isn't everywhere, because there's not that many blind people,
That's
right?
a great analogy. There's a reason Braille isn't everywhere. That's great. That's really great.
So, in general, being a nice guy is going to set you back. Now, are there some girls out there that are, will reward you and give you sex and a blowjob for being a nice guy? Sure. But the reality is being a nice guy typically always puts you on your back foot. And I think in today's day and age where women have an enormous amount of leverage in the dating marketplace, guys need to kind of go in there with their eyes wide open so they don't put themselves in a bad situation. So generalizations are typically how the world works. Of course, there's always going to be anomalies. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. But I think in general, men need to operate from a position where they're mitigating risk and not investing too much up front. Because we have way more on the line than women do when we get in relationships.
Yeah, because women can literally ruin your life. They destroy men. They do it all the time. Shannon Sharp cooked. He's done. Cooked. Doesn't even matter if he's guilty or innocent. One accusation. Cooked. Done.
So you say like sex. Do you think that's the end goal of a relationship? Like, where do you view that?
Well, it's the main agency that women have.
What if you don't give them that agency though? If you have like different priorities, generally, like
The man or
Yeah,
the woman?
The man.
Okay, what do you mean by that? If you can kind of...
Like, if you don't go into a relationship just expecting to get that out of it, then there's really no leverage there if that's not something you really want out of that person.
Well, a lot of the time that's cope, right? So, like, guys will sit there and they'll be taking a girl on her seventh date. They've been talking for like 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, and they'll sit there and cope, be like, oh, no, like, I'm just building something up. But the reality is she's fucking some other guy.
Yeah, what's the longest you guys are going to wait for a girl that you perceive to be good? To be a good girl. What's your max in 2025? Here's what I've seen. I think guys will give you a month, maybe 6 weeks if you can really pull that purity card. Till marriage, only a simp. She's blown somebody. Sorry, guys. I went to Catholic school. I saw the girls doing this workaround. You know what I mean? Like, they always get you, but the women, they just have to have a very gentle voice, and you guys fall for it a lot. You said, yeah, Troy says a couple weeks. Mr. Nice Guy says 1 hour. Get out of here. What are you, Chad? You'll wait longer than an hour. Come on.
Right? And the reality is that men need to understand that women, right, they sell purity, they sell sugar and spice and everything nice, but what will happen is they'll open themselves up sexually to the men that they respect and are aroused by, and then make the nice guy wait, right? And they're able to kind of double dip doing that. So I think with guys, they got to basically push for sex fairly quickly in a relationship to ensure that they're not getting used.
I think
because that is their main. I mean, just let's be honest here. Like that is their main commodity, their main agency. Like if women didn't have vaginas, we wouldn't care. No one would talk to them.
I wouldn't say that because that's like half the population. You just like dehumanizing half the population with that statement.
I mean, well, it's the reality. We're put on Earth to procreate, correct? So men, our job is to provide resources. Their job is to extract resources, and it's been this way since the beginning of time. The only reason we're able to have this whole, moral situation is because of modernity and the access to technology and how we progressed. But the reality is, in times of when times are not peaceful, we get closer and closer to our traditional gender roles, right? There is no feminism when the lights are off. There is no feminism with war. There is no feminism when it comes to preserving society and moving on forward. So, you know, the reality is that that's why the genders deal with each other. Men provide resources, women provide access to sex.
That's the face men make when they know something is true, but they can't say it. They get this half smile. It's like silence. What? It's like when I had a conversation with someone the other day. I was like, women spend more. And I even said, look, if you made the money I made at one point, wouldn't you have done something better with it? He's like, yeah. Because he was like, well, some women are smart. And I'm like, even smart women make dumb decisions. I know another person. I'm trying to be more broad, guys. So this is what I've had to do in my show. I had another person I know, and she was very intelligent. She was an engineering major. She completed I think she became like a mechanical engineer, went to grad school. She still got like $150,000 worth of student debt and then bought a house. We make dumb decisions all the time. All the time. Just is what it is.
I'm gonna come back.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, thank you for coming up, though, man. It's brave to do that. So, shout out to you. And you when you come back up, say your name. Hi.
Hey, so I really think your ideology is interesting. How do I apply it to my lesbian relationships?
Okay. What is the goal? Is the goal to get married? Is the goal to have a serious long-term boyfriend that will, like, what's the goal?
It's to have a lesbian relationship.
Oh, well, you guys are useless to society, so.
Why did you do her like that? Ah! Look at her face. See, this is the thing. This is like the perfect example of a lesbian. She's slightly overweight, like 5'4" category face-wise. They can't get the men they want, so they'd rather date women than men they don't want. So
should I value her less or more?
Well, I mean, you know, you guys can scissor and talk and have a good time, but you guys don't really provide for society.
Okay, so thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, if you're not contributing to a nuclear family, you're effectively useless to society, being honest. Also, I don't think lesbianism is real. I think it's just confusion a lot of the times. Because the reality is, like, see, because I've interviewed maybe almost 4,000 girls on my show, and girls that say that they're lesbian or bisexual, I always like to ask them, well, if you had to pick one gender for the rest of your life, who are you going to pick? And 9 out of 10 times it's the men, and the reason why is because men have to provide value in a relationship. Women don't, a lot of the times.
Yeah, because we just get dumped. All right. The life of a woman, we get dumped or passed. We never are told why. Because the men, there's no incentive to tell us why. So women, like a lot of times when we dump you, and just in general, we'll just constantly remind you of your bad traits, right? We're just women, right? We're just like, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Men, they know, like, if they tell us about ourselves, they know that we're going to say, but you do da-da-da-da-da-da. And they just hate the nagging that they're just like, I'll avoid. So yeah, I mean, there are very few like men that are honest with women ever. And who can blame them, right?
Like with us, we have a multifaceted list of things that we have to bring to the table, whether it's being tall, strong, competent, financial resources. Men have to rise to the occasion to be able to get attention from the opposite gender. Women don't. So what ends up happening a lot of the times when there's lesbian or bisexual couples and are dating with women, the bar is low and they don't really provide value to each other. And then when the check comes, they're both looking at each other confused. So, you know, there's a reason why lesbians have some of the highest rates of domestic violence. It just doesn't work.
Hey, I'm back. I got another question.
Sure.
So,
You want to introduce yourself to the people or not?
oh, my name is Caleb. I'm a civil engineer major.
What's up,
freshman.
Caleb? Welcome.
Yeah.
Where are you from, bro? How old are you?
I'm from Fort Mill, South Carolina. I'm 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So you said like going into a relationship or dating with a woman, not expecting sex is like cope. What is?
Yeah,
what is that?
a lot of guys tell themselves that when they're in the friend zone.
This is totally a guy in the friends. You could just tell.
Guy will sit there for like 3 or 4 years talking to this girl, wanting more. He knows he's stuck in the friend zone, but he just kind of sits there and be like, no, I'm just going to be a good friend. I'm going to sit around. Like, I'm just going to be here.
At that point, it's a matter of self-respect, though. Like, if you know you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, why not walk away? But if you do want a friendship for that person,
I agree.
Because women do have value outside of just sex.
No,
then, you know,
I agree with you on that, but the problem is that most guys can't identify when they're being friend zoned. Is my point.
it's easy to identify though. If the relationship not going where you want it to go, then you can walk away.
You got to understand
Also,
a lot of.
if you guys have a comment, question, or concern, make sure you go to the website. The link is in the description. You do get unlimited super chats right now. Joel on the website says, my dad was jaded working man and used to tell me if they didn't have cunts, you would drive them off with a stick. Very nice. Very nice. Also, what you also get is I bring on smart, intelligent, non-famous, and sometimes famous men to give presentations on how they got successful. This is going to be very expensive next month on the 15th, but for now it is $100 a year, $10 a month. We're on both app stores, and the link is in the description. So make sure you guys go sign up. I will honor the price that you get it at now if you buy it now, but on the 15th of next month, that is going away. On top of that, you get to, when we do have the presentations on the website, you can ask them questions directly. And if you guys have a specific industry that you want to go after, I can always go find someone in that industry that I know is smart, intelligent, and credible. We are also filming extra modules. Someone, I'm not going to say who because I don't want to tell you guys yet, but there is somebody coming this weekend. And this person is going to teach you how to catch your girl cheating. So if you want to loyalty test, you might as well loyalty test her before the marriage instead of after. I really recommend. Women do it all the time. They send in women to test you guys. I think you should start to do it back, really and truly, because that's an expensive decision, right? And so many men, they're like, I don't want to do that. What the women would do it to you in a second. A second. Send in your hottest jacked friend to hitting her at a bar or something. Just see what she does, right? Anyways, I'll continue.
Guys are socially retarded and not able to understand when a woman isn't that into them. I'm sure every woman in here has been hit on by a guy that made her feel uncomfortable and he just simply didn't get it. And there's a reason for that. Women, you know, the one compliment I will give women is they're socially superior to men. They're able to pick up on things quicker.
I don't think so at all. I disagree. I don't think women are socially superior. I think we get away with more awkward and weird things because we're women and we're pretty and we can tee-hee our way out of it. Got to disagree with Myron here on this one. Socially superior. I think we have more social situations because people talk to us all the time. But I think men are way more considerate. They're way better listeners. They're way more entertaining. I mean, what do you guys, can we make a poll in the chat? Who's socially superior, men or women? It's okay if you guys disagree, but I want to do a poll.
To read the room better. They're able to assess danger. And the reason for that is because they're the weaker gender physically, right? So since they can't make up for it with strength and brutality, if a dude's a little off, he's like ticking like this or he's a weirdo, women pick up on that immediately and like, okay, danger zone, let me get out of here. So that's why a lot of guys are kind of idiotic when it comes to stuff and they can't take the signs.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
But is it that women deserve less or men need to know more?
Combination of the two. Men need to understand their value because that is actually, that's the biggest weapon when it comes to dating and intersexual dynamics is a lot of guys don't understand how much value they're bringing to the table versus the woman. A lot of the times men chronically undervalue themselves while women simultaneously overvalue themselves. You know, if you ask an average girl, hey, what kind of guy do you want? They're going to tell you 6 figures, 6 feet, 6-pack, good looking, good with dogs, asshole that could put me in my place, but at the same time is a nice guy. Like, they're looking for the top 1% guy, but the reality is they're very average.
Yeah, Myron, stop simping. The chat agrees with me. Of course, my audience, right? Yeah, we got to, they're not socially superior. There's no.
So I think men need to understand that not only do you have to, the burden of performance is on you and you have to be attractive, but you also need to understand that you need to be superior to your girl in every way. Because women don't look for equals despite the fact that they say they do. That's a lie.
You got anything to say?
They look for a superior. They don't look for an equal, ever. So by me giving her less, I'm actually giving her what she wants. Surprisingly.
I wouldn't say that.
That's true. Ask any woman. The best, I don't want to say the best date you've ever been on, because for me, I have to be careful what I say on this platform. I'll say this. In general, women, the most expensive date they've ever been on was not the best, because usually if a guy had to spend a lot, we didn't like him. And the best date usually was not cost a lot.
Like, giving less, though. And when you say women deserve less, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they do. And the thing is,
Oh, this is pure comedy. So I don't know. When you say that, though, but they do.
you have to make them earn everything. Because when guys come in, they start simping immediately. They start giving her money, time, attention, all this stuff. She takes that for granted. She doesn't respect it. And if she doesn't respect it, she's not going to respect you.
Okay, let's
and here's the other thing, too. Since women have so many options, and this has been exacerbated by social media, by the way. Like, this has always been a problem, but in 2025, with the explosion of social media, it's gotten even worse.
I think social media just made it more toxic, but I'll put that off to the side for a second.
Sure.
Let's do a hypothetical. So let's say a guy, he goes into a date, he already knows what he wants, and so in the scenario that you create, this guy he courts her or whatever, they're dating, he's giving her everything that she wants, and she's giving it up to some other guy on the side or whatever.
Yep.
And so
Happens all the time.
the problem is that she values herself more than this guy.
Well, I mean, not really. She's basically using him, right? So another dark secret when it comes to modern dating and women in general, how modern women date, is what they'll do is they'll have men in certain categories. They'll compartmentalize men. So one guy will be saved in her phone as Uber. Another guy will be saved as pizza. Another guy will be saved as sex. Another guy will be saved as simp. Another guy will be saved as sugar daddy. And, this is a very dark reality that a lot of guys don't understand. But we've gotten to a point now, thanks to social media and dating.
And this is something men do not want to accept. Oh my gosh. Women can go online and say, this is how women categorize you. And the men will come up and say, not all women are like that. My girl's special and just hope you were in the sex category. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't allow them to bamboozle you. If you get, like, how do I put this? If women get used for sex, whose fault is that? Women. If you allow women to use you for your time, attention, and resources, whose fault is that? It's yours. I gotta give it both ways. A lot of you guys really, I don't know why you're selling this hope, Take the L. Eat the L. Eat it. Yeah. Women get used for sex. And men actually get used for sex too. I've met a lot of men. I've met a good amount of men that say that women just want sex from them. So it does go both ways. But yeah.
Etc.
If he's in her phone with SA after her name, that dude's from Seeking Arrangements. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Women are able to basically have men in these certain roles where they can benefit them. And what I'm saying is, I don't want you being saved as Uber. That's my thing when I talk to guys. And
so at that point, why is the lesson not how to have self-respect as a man instead of like attacking women?
Well, here's the thing. In order for you to have self-respect, you must give them less.
That's not how self-respect works, though.
No. You
can value yourself, but without tearing someone else down.
Well, you're not tearing her down. You're just mitigating risk and not giving her everything up front. You're making her earn it. See, I find it interesting that women will sit there and have these super high standards, right? And when you make them work for your validation and your attention, that's looked at as misogynistic. But when women do it, it's looked at as having high standards. Do you notice that? Double standard? So in other words...
I've never experienced that personally.
Well, that's you, man. I mean, you might be better with the girls than other guys, but most men struggle in this situation. Yeah. See? Yeah, you got to remember, man, the average guy is struggling. Like, you might be a smooth talker or whatever. I can see that you're an eloquent young man.
Thank you.
But a lot of guys don't have that skill set, So.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of this, like the dating philosophy in this time is really like spitting game, and it's really technical. But I think a lot of it is just connection. So when you actually look for that in somebody, then you can get rid of everything else. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
but
become a
here's the thing,
competition
man.
or a thing of leverage or anything.
Here's the thing you got to remember. Like, when it comes to like connection, remember that like 90% of guys can't even get the connection in the first place.
It's just a conversation, though.
But you're not going to have the conversation if she doesn't find you attractive up front. So like whenever women talk about like men that they like or whatever, or like what they're looking for, or the personality traits he's supposed to have, they're talking from the frame of they assume attraction. They assume he's already 6 feet tall and he's good looking or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I don't care. I just want a guy that communicates well. But she's not telling you that he's 6'3" and makes, $50K a month.
Yeah.
She's not telling you that part, right? She's saying she wants a good communicator, but the reality is it's with certain types of men.
I think with those women, with that like archetype of women in particular, they're like really shallow. Like me personally, if I see a woman like that,
that's a lot of women.
it's not though, because I know a lot of women who go off of the way a man carries himself or the way he speaks or the things he believes. It's not just how he looks.
Yeah, he's coping. It's called a cope. You don't have to be the hottest guy in the room, but you do have to be hotter than her. You do.
No. I'm not saying it's just how he looks. It's a complete package. But what I'm saying is that they want them well-rounded in multiple different things. Typically, the more money and status a woman has.
He's at college. It gets worse. Yeah, because, I mean, in college, you're just in an abundance of hot chicks. It's not like that forever.
The hotter she is, the pickier she's going to be.
And I don't know if college is the same anymore, though, because, I mean, now the women in college are getting offers from the men in the city and in other states and other countries.
This is even for average women. Average women are looking for an above-average guy 9 out of 10 times. We got 5s looking for 9s. But then if you ask her, what do you rate yourself 1 to 10, she'll say an 11. 11? Like, what the hell? So, that's the problem.
So, have you like met real life examples of these guys who are trying to talk to women and they're not having any success?
A lot. Coached a lot. Literally thousands of them.
So, and what are they doing wrong?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons, right? It could be that they're socially awkward, they don't have their money on point, they're fat, they don't speak well, they stink. Like, there's many failure points for men to take an L with women. And the thing also that I think that's important is women are pickier now than ever before. So, like, you might have everything in place, but she won't like the color of your socks. Oh, I'm good, So girls get turned off very easily now because they have the paradox of choice.
See, I personally can't speak from these generalizations because I'm speaking from my personal experience.
Of course. And it's anecdotal, so you're going to be limited in what you can, understand or know because you're only 19 years old. And trust me, I had that same mindset when I was 19 too. I had this whole, idealism and women are equal to us and everything else like that. But the reality is they're not. If I'm going to be honest, they suck at most things. Men are better than women in almost every regard.
Crazy. I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that's true. And personally, I don't think my viewpoint is...
Yet. It's either yet or translation. I'm lying. Which one? Can we do a poll? Does he not know yet or is he lying? So like, please put that in the chat and let me know what you guys think.
Idealistic.
We're literally better than them in everything where we compete. That's why they have to have their own separate leagues.
I think...
Yeah, but nobody shows up at WNBA games.
Nobody. I played overseas, right? Nobody was at our games. I played in college. The only guys that go to the games are the guys trying to bang the volleyball girls. That's it. That's your audience.
The WNBA is literally subsidized by the NBA, right? It's like we like champion mediocrity from females just because we want to be equal, right?
I think we got double standards in gender roles because men and women are good at different things. Not that men are better than this or women suck at this. Like, we have different things that we're inclined to.
I mean, yeah, she'll teach you guys how to get cats. That's what she'll teach you guys. How to get cats and get triggered. But the
80% says he doesn't know yet. I mean, you guys are fighting in this poll, but it seems like you guys are saying he just doesn't know.
Biological reality is men are better than women at most things. Yeah, I mean, hey, you can get on the mic. You get on the mic. She wants to tell you guys about her Siamese cats. We got a Karen in the house. Fantastic. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, yeah, men are better than women in almost every realm of competitive endeavor. It's just the reality, right? And this shows that what they're attracted to as well. Does a woman want a guy that's shorter than her, dumber than her, makes less money than her? No, she's looking for a superior. That's just how it is. It's biology. Now, I know this is like offensive, right, to the left to, point out these biological realities, but women are not attracted to men that they're equal to. They'll sit there and say that, but how they behave is two different things. So, what's up, man? How are you? What's your name?
Hi, how are you? My name is Trey. It's nice to meet you.
How are you, Trey?
So I heard your views on lesbians a moment ago, and I'm just curious how those views transfer to gay men. Do you believe they don't exist as well? Because you did say that lesbian relationships cannot exist because men are more multifaceted than women. That was your main argument point on lesbianism prior, and I'm just curious how that carries to.
So, what are my thoughts on gay men?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are kind of useless to society too.
I actually don't think that's true. I'm going to disagree with him. I'll tell you guys why.
Fair, yeah. I am pretty damn useless.
Yeah.
But not because I'm not having kids, just because I'm crazy.
Yeah, from the nuclear family perspective, right? I say that kind of, as a joke. But, yeah, I mean, I think the backbone of any thriving society is the nuclear family. And if people aren't contributing to that, I think it's problematic for society. So, gay men and lesbian women.
The lesbian women, totally useless. But here's the thing. I'm pretty sure some of the best artists in history were gay and, like, musical composers. So, hey, if a man, like, we all know, and not all, there are exceptions, but oftentimes men are the ones inventing things, right? So, like, if a gay guy's inventing stuff and, like, building shit, I mean, I would still say that's contributing. If they're still doing the infrastructure jobs, I mean, most men haven't reproduced in history. So the gay men are just kind of like filling out most men's. Like, what's going on now is really just nature correcting itself.
Don't contribute to that, unfortunately. And I don't think gay men should be able to adopt children either. I think that's crazy.
I agree. I agree.
Lesbian women should be able to adopt children either. I think kids need to be protected at all costs, and exposing them to sexual degeneracy is a problem, because that's what homosexuality and lesbianism is. I'm a firm believer that gays and lesbians need to go back in the closet. We don't need that stuff outwardly.
That is a point of view.
Oh, it's so funny. I love it.
We're entitled to. Have a nice day.
Fair enough. Thank you for coming up. Yeah, guys, I know it's scary, but like I said, I'll chat with you guys. You got questions on my worldviews or disagree, I'd be happy to have a conversation with anyone. Okay. Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
Hey, name's Joshua Williams.
What's up, Josh? How are you?
Decent. How about you?
Good. I like your shirt.
Appreciate it. Wanted to ask you about your main selling point, women deserve less.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit on the first couple chapters of the Bible, Genesis 1 through 5.
I think this is the boring guy.
Pray for them, but what I'm saying is you don't have to invite that to your house to destroy your household. Pray for her, but, like, don't let her. Look, one of the worst things a man can do, and this is going to be taboo, but I'm going to say it. One of the worst things you could do is wife up a whore. So, because wiping up promiscuous women will absolutely destroy your life as a man. So my thing is, you could pray for them. Obviously, you wish well upon them, but that doesn't mean you need to invite her into your life where she's in a position where she could utterly destroy you.
Okay.
Your message is being spread to men who are not mature or grounded, and women are being abused. So now I am responsible. CDKV, we're going to do a call-in later. I expect a call, bitch. I really do. And you could tell me how I am responsible. You tell me how I am responsible for women being abused.
Especially with the way the family courts are run and the way that child custody works and alimony and everything else like that. Like, guys have to be
Okay,
less.
let me skip this guy.
Oh, man, here we go.
All right, next
Hello.
one.
Do I deserve more or less?
Are you a man or a woman?
I'm asking you. Do I deserve more or less?
Well, probably less.
Even now, when my voice is lower than yours.
Even less now.
Oh, he's a comedian. That's so funny.
I knew something was off. Saw that Adam's apple. I was like, oh, here we go. What was that? It's oil in my beard? Color correct. All right. Man, my feelings are hurt.
All right, Doug MPA says too many black men are simps. It's because the culture is a matriarchy. Odds are that poor guy came from a single mother home. Daniel C., how do you deal with the emotions and instincts of a woman? Not well, I'm a woman, right? Obviously I suck, right? Not all, YouTube, not all! But don't let me sell you that I'm an exception. Nope. Like, do you know what's the worst? Do you know what's worse than modern women? Women trying to convince you they're different. Yeah. Let me sell you guys hope. You know, I could say, so Pearl, I just sat down and helped my married friend look through his finances. The Tradcath wife is spending $1,700 a month on Affirm BS. Cooked.
Even know what that thing said.
Yeah, I'm not
That
saying
creature.
hello to you, so let's just skip the pleasantries.
Sure.
So why are
Yeah, I was gonna say, can someone help her?
Sorry. Oh, that is so funny.
So are your views on women based on data or personal rejection?
Here we go, the whole you're an incel thing. Okay.
Because on a podcast about 2 months ago, didn't you just say you got your first girlfriend and you're like 30?
Wow, she really thinks that's a known. Number one, I've had a girlfriend now for a few years,
I'm
not
so
2 months. And it's an open relationship. I do what I want, and she's closed on her end.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, look at all the people here going crazy. So here's the reality, right? So let me give you guys a biological reality here.
What does this have to do with my question?
Women-
I'm asking if your views come from data or rejection, because someone had to hurt you for the way you feel about women.
Oh, so I have to be hurt to be able to establish and tell the truth.
Well, yes.
That's interesting.
Sorta, kinda. Was it your mom?
She's kind of right. Men don't realize the truth until they've been hurt normally. But maybe I think Myron might have been different, but in general, she's kind of right.
No, actually, you know what's funny? It was my mom that warned me about these hoes. Yeah. It was actually my mom.
So you and your mom are birds.
Me and my mom are birds?
Yeah. Bird brains.
All right, interesting. Do you actually have an argument, or do you just want to make ad hominems?
No, I'm just asking questions. You have yet to answer my question.
Well, it
Is
sounded more like
based
a
on-
statement since we're both birds, right?
Well, are your views based on data or personal rejection?
Yeah, they're based on data, obviously experience, anecdotal, talking with almost 4,000 women now at this point. So, you know, and I think every guy here, right, though they might not admit it, would love to have a setup where they have a girlfriend that loves and admires them and respects them, obeys them, and he could go ahead and get other women and she's closed on her end. And this is what I was trying to say. Once you reach a certain level of status and you have your stuff together, you'd be amazed at what women will tolerate when you're that guy. So I want every guy to be at a point where if you want to be monogamous to your woman, you can, but if you also want to have other women, you can. And that's what I think keeps you attractive, because women only get in line when you have other women in line. Now, I know that... What was that?
He said you're not welcome on campus, prick.
Oh, look at this guy. Nice jorts.
Public university. Can't really kick him off, as far as I know. That's last I checked.
Nice jorts.
Hey, I have another question. Do you know who invented Wi-Fi? Like the technology for Wi-Fi?
Women always find the most useless thing that we invented in history, and half the time, if you look it up, it was their husbands. Not all, but I can't remember. I think it was Curie, something Curie. All of her invention, it might have been someone else. I just know that somebody brought up some woman that invented a bunch of things, and when I looked into it, all of the inventions stopped after her husband died, and I just thought that was mad convenient. Mad convenient.
Let me guess, a woman?
Well, yeah. So if it wasn't for a woman, your podcast, you wouldn't have one, and it wouldn't have gotten demonetized.
Oh, good one. Yeah, so here's the thing. We do direct connect on our pod, so
I don't care.
Wi-Fi is, oh, now it's...
Guys, hit the like button. And also, if you want to sign up to theaudacitynetwork.com, that's theaudacitynetwork.com. The link is in the description. We're also on both of the app stores. Make sure you put "the" in the description. We have smart, intelligent, non-famous men that give presentations that you can ask them questions directly. They're live once a week on how to improve your money, your finances, and other areas of your life. On top of that, we have all of my old content that I had to remove off of YouTube, sadly. And we have this weekend, we're adding on information from I'll say somebody that works in this field, because I don't want to give away who it is, on how to catch your girlfriend cheating. Make them do a loyalty test, fellas, before you sign any paperwork, before you have a kid, before you put they're going to test her after marriage. You might as well try it before. You guys have too much to lose, but the price is going to go up, and the price is going to go up soon. So make sure you sign up now.
Okay, great.
Hello, sir.
Wrong. It was John O'Sullivan that invented Wi-Fi.
Make sure to hit the gym as well.
Sir. Hey.
Yeah, she's fat.
Hey, just being honest, man.
Those are the women right here.
Sir.
These are the women that you guys say aren't fat that are fat. I'm really tired of this. I'm tired of it. Have sex with them. I don't care. But don't make me live in delusion because you guys like having sex with fat women. Because you guys will do the chubbies. Don't make me have to not call them fat. Stop. And I feel very strongly about this because I'll say that girl's fat. And you guys are like, no, she's just chubby. Where would she rank on the BMI scale? Overweight or not overweight? If she's overweight, she is fat. Okay. And I've been there. Okay. I've been there. And I was fat. And I'm tired. One of these days, I'll show you guys a picture of me at my fattest. And if you guys tell me I wasn't fat, we're going to fight. Okay.
This guy. Look at this guy.
Sir,
hey,
if you're here to
the
have
girls
a
aren't going to fuck you, man.
I'm trying to have one with you.
Like, the girls aren't going to fuck you, bro. White knighting is not going to do it.
Okay, hi. Would you like to have an actual conversation?
This is fucking awesome. All right, what are you going to say? Go ahead.
All right, here. I'm here to have an actual like debate with you, okay? I'm not
Sure.
here to antagonize you or villainize you.
More cushion for the push, and I hate you guys. I hate you. This is how this woman thinks she's a 7. Guarantee you. You ask her, rate herself 1 to 10. Tired of this. Yeah, I would hand out Ozempic. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't have to look at you anymore. Especially women. Men can be productive, right? Like let's not cap, right? I've dated an overweight guy, but like let's not cap. I'm not going to come out here and cap and say that there's no good-looking heavy men, but they're competent, right? They're good at something. But women, it's like that's our one job is to be hot, right? So it's such a shame I was overweight in my early 20s. What a shame, right?
I want to understand you, and I hope maybe you'd want to understand me. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Sure.
So what I want to understand is your viewpoint that women deserve less or that you think men deserve more?
Well, 2 things can be true, right?
Okay.
So I think guys need to be in a position where they are the dominant and the leader in the relationship.
So I would like to understand why exactly do you think that? Is it what is causing this? Is it
She could lose 15 to 20, more like 40. Stop it. I'm so sorry. When the arms are blubbering this hard, that's 40, 50 pounds. Okay. I guarantee, I don't know her height, but she's got to be pushing 180, 90, maybe 200. I'm going to guess 180. She should be 120, 130, 120, 30. No reason.
an instinctual thing? Do you think it's based off biology, psychology?
What in
religion,
particular?
belief? Like the idea that the man should be dominant. What is the backing thought process for this?
Well, it's how society has thrived for centuries. You know, the man is the head of the household. He's a leader. He protects and provisions. And this is how we've been able to build up the society we enjoy now.
Pearl's harsh.
And it's only with...
Seriously, I'm harsh. I have eyes. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. You guys are starving out there, aren't you? I'm going to start to tear up. Because you guys are starving so much that you don't think she's overweight. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous.
In feminism, that women have been able to kind of do the things that they do. But at the end of the day, I would argue most women want a traditional man who's going to be a provider, going to be a protector, and adhere to...
Big boobs don't make a girl not fat.
Traditional masculine traits.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about this, sir, if you don't mind. So,
Sure.
what would you say that over time, generally speaking, with how society has come, how culture has come, to where we are at this current point, are you content with how the world is today? With society, are you happy with how society has turned out? What exactly, do you have any issues with modern society?
Well, I mean, look, obviously there's pluses and negatives, but I do think that modernity has led to the overall degradation of society. It's because we don't prioritize the family anymore.
So is the issue less that
Can you please put a poll in the chat? I just want to know, would you put would and wouldn't, please?
women deserve less, or that we should put more of a focus on traditionalism within the family?
Well, that's kind of the same thing from before. Again, men need to be in a different position now where they need to be able to vet out women properly for them to be their wives. Because the thing that sucks for guys now is that most women want to be married, but they're not necessarily wife material. Everyone wants to get married, but no one wants to be a wife is basically what I mean. So I think we're a lesbian.
Okay, he says, women often refuse to lose weight if their breast size decreases. Seen it, sister, mother, wife, and 2 daughters, plus many more. Lose the weight and buy some boobs. God, like, lose the weight and buy, but like, you can buy them. It's 2025. You can buy boobs and ass nowadays. Now, I understand maybe it's not the real deal, but if you're fat, they're going to be down to your belly button at some point, and they're going to be sagging so bad that you're not even like, it's not even going to look good after a certain age if you're fat. Like, get a 6-pack, buy some. Pearl, please read. Not all men. You have hung out with a lot of brothers. Not my white brothers. None of my white brothers like fat women. None of my white friends married fat bitches. We dislike fat women. Okay. Do you think I have 5 brothers? I know what kind of brothers you're talking about, but they look like me. Okay. And I actually agree with you. White men do like the thinner, like black men are more, they're more willing to go for the like chub. Yeah, you're totally right about that. Like, I don't know if I want to say this. I'm going to say it. Cancel me, I guess. Like, if there's a big woman and she's getting piped down, I almost know it's by a brother. I just know there is a guy. I know what type of guy is feeding that ego, I'll say. Anyways, and you're right, but white guys will still do it if they're drinking. That's the catch. If they're drinking at a bar, that's when they'll go pretty low. Pretty low. Let me see the bottom.
I know what you're talking.
I don't do sex outside of marriage. Okay, well, that's one way to tell me you're an incel. Sorry. I'm just kidding, Kenny. I'm just kidding. All right. Myron looked it up after this and announced in his speech last night that the woman didn't invent the Wi-Fi. Of Of course. Guys, go to the Audacity chat or Super Chat on the website if you guys want.
Oh, but anyway.
You know what? They'll also do the old women, too. I'll tell you what. There is a woman at my gym in London, and she was so old. And there was a jacked brother. That's who was doing it. And I'm like, truly? Really?
Anyway, so yeah, that's what I think it is. Guys need to really focus on the family, but before they can even do that, they need to be able to go in with their eyes wide open with how society is. And
the poll's pretty close. I hate you guys. I really do. I really do. See, I knew. You guys would do the fat women. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's like an ego hit. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why men can't admit that women are fat. Because when they're banging a girl that looks like that, like if they're banging a girl that they, like it's the same reason why they have to say like white knight and say not all women are like that, right? Because in their head, if all women are like that, then who am I dating, married to, whatever. It's the same thing when men will say like, oh no, she's okay, like she's not fat. They're doing it. Pearl, put on a real incel on the phone. 262 out of 473 Okay.
how we're playing the dating game because we have more to lose.
Pearl, your worldview of beauty standards is just skewed. Okay, you go interview 1,000 women. You go do it. Come back to me, and then you rate them. Yeah, you go. You go into entertainment. Okay. Go into the entertainment business. Do casting. Pick the hottest girl. You look at the couch and do this 5 times a week where you have to pick the most attractive women to go on thumbnails and who is going to get the clicks and who to invite for reactions. And you do that with 1,000 women and then come back to me and then you give me beauty standards. You go do it. Please go do it.
Okay, so
I'll say this, overweight and smash because it's less effort. Thank you. That's at least honest. And it makes sense. But what I'm not going to do, you guys can say, what you can do is you can say, I would do it because it's easy and it's not a lot of work. But what we're not going to do here is say that she's not fat. That's like, what you guys are doing is what the liberals do when they change the definition of women. You're making me change the definition of fat. You're making me change the definition of fat, and I won't stand for it.
I understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
I think it makes sense that you would like to have, women would be able to be mothers, would ever be able to be wives. If a man is being a provider, clearly you would want something in return, right? I mean, like.
Yeah, to obey me.
Oh, if you want people to hear you out, I don't really think obey would be the best word to use. I mean, like, obey kind of implies that there's a lack of free will and thought. Would you think?
Interesting. So you say there's a lack of free will there, but is there, I mean
with the term obey, like.
Did you fall out with Melanie King and Allie in Kansas? You should re-collab. Yeah, no, they're fine. I got nothing against either of them. If we were drunk enough, we would have sex. All right, with a soulless redhead. Kenny, are you going to pay for my website to dunk on me? I'll let you. I'll do it. Yeah, $10 a month. I'm cheap. All right. Pearl Reed, there must have been a Karen on stage left. She would only eat the apple. She would take the tree down. The
Citation that it provides when you say the word obey.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I find it interesting that on my end, I'm protecting and providing, and the one thing I ask in return is for her to obey, but that's a problem. See, that's
I didn't say it was a problem.
Because here's the thing. Hey, let's be honest here, right? So this is what I mean when I say modern feminism poisons women. Women want a guy who's going to be a protector and a provider and a good man, but if he asks, hey, I need you to obey me in return, she'll say, I don't like that word. Why do I need to obey you? Well, you need to obey me because I'm the one that's responsible for you. So if I'm responsible for you, that means I'm supposed to have authority over you as well.
Well, if you would like to have a conversation without putting words in my mouth, where I said that I had a problem with the term obeying people, I just said that if you want other people to agree with you, maybe find a different term that would, kind of incline people to agree. Secondly,
Well, that's the problem. People are too soft. That's the truth. We need women to obey us.
says the guy who's here complaining about women.
No, I said women need to obey men. I'm saying the problem is that we have this society where people just don't want to be honest and say what it is.
But I'm being honest and telling you that people don't like the word obey.
Okay. Oh, well.
Oh, it's so funny.
Like,
people
I
don't
find
like
it interesting,
it.
right? So a lot of people think I just talk smack to women all the time, but I actually talk more smack. Anyone that watches the show, I actually talk more smack to men. I tell them to not be fat, not to be losers, not to be dorks. Like, I bully the guys so that they become better. And men kind of accept this. But when we say we want something in return, women don't want to follow it. So it's like women have one job and they don't even want to do that.
Well, have you considered that maybe women don't want your help?
Well, here's the thing. I'm here to help the guys out because they're the leaders. So
Well, that's fine, but
I'm very familiar with the fact that, like, women, like, if they hear a certain word, they get triggered and they can't listen to anything else. But, again, that's an inherent flaw in women because they're so emotional. But the reality is, like, as a woman, if you're in a relationship with a guy and he's doing what he's supposed to do, protect and provide for you, you need to obey him.
So wait, okay, you have a problem with women being overly emotional, yet you want them to be providers to children. That implies that there needs to be some type of emotional nurture there. So is the problem that women are too emotional or that they're not emotional enough?
No, when I'm talking about...
Okay, I'm done listening to this fat woman talk. Let's go to the 1 hour. And we're going to put a link in the chat, and we're going to call in. And it's going to be based on this conversation here, where they talk about, he blames Myron for his life choices. So we're going to have a conversation about how responsible are creators for what the followers do. I'm going to phrase, hold on, let me actually, here, let me play it.
So can I ask a quick synopsis of what you think the prescription is for society today for men? In a short version, what do you think they should do to be successful with women?
To be successful with women,
Yeah.
okay, are we talking about, like, getting a girl for a long-term relationship, just to get laid? What are we talking about?
Well, I think the only reason should be for a long-term relationship and marriage. I mean, that's Jesus Christ founded it, but I'm just curious what your prescription is.
Well, I've talked...
Oh, this is the trad con man. They get married for 5 minutes and they think they know everything. They get the biggest ego, like it could never happen to them. And then they put their wife on a pedestal and say, she's such a great woman. You've known her 10 minutes. You're like 2 years. I could go be a whole different person for 2 years. Let me go get my Jesus cross and go find your local church. I could get... Women are shapeshifters.
I think guys have to have certain things in place, right, before they...
Pearl's back monetized. Hell yeah, I am. Thank you, Nate Draco.
Want to get into a long-term relationship. It's 5 things. So I would say 100K per year, 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in good shape, have at least 50 partners, right? Sexual body count.
And if you guys have to F fat chicks to get there, that's okay. I do accept that. But please don't bring them out in public. They don't deserve that. They don't. They don't deserve to be seen with you kings. Keep them at home. Give them a meal plan and say, hey, get on the treadmill, bitch. I'm just kidding.
All right, and then is that the last one?
And then there's one more, but that's fine. You could go ahead and engage with what I've said so far.
So the reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about 1.5 years. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with the...
You're a grown man blaming a YouTuber for your decisions. He's a woman. Keep your chin up. Thank you, Dallas. Truly, I mean, it's like when women say they're brainwashed by feminism. I'm like, feminism didn't make you do a gangbang, Diane. Feminism didn't make you do OnlyFans, Barbara. Yeah, but on TV, they said, well, the TV, I mean, you know, they can't market something to someone who doesn't want to do it. So if I see an ad that says, go fix a car, right? I'm not going to fix a car because I can't fix a car. I don't want to fix a car. And like, it's just not something I want to learn. I'll go pay someone to do. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't. I will go pay someone to do it. Now, but if they market, what's something I want to buy anyway? Do I want to do the thing that makes me look better or worse that I want to buy? Okay. Okay. Summer's coming up, and obviously I want to waste some money on summer dresses, right? So if they marketed me a $300 dress and it was really cute, they could probably sell me on it right now. And that's a complete waste of my money. I have enough dresses. I don't need them. I don't even really alternate my clothes that much. I wear the same like 5 things. There's no reason. However, it could be marketed. So what he's going to do now is try to blame Myron for what he wanted to do anyway.
To women and date multiple.
Pearl, you're not smart enough to fix a car. That's true. That's true. Like, I don't want to learn it.
Women at the same time, which I did. And it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved.
Now you're going to try to sell me your religion. Here we go. Here we go. And I think religion a lot of times is a proxy of like, I wanted a wife. Buying you a coffee for this entertainment. Thank you, Joel. I love coffee. That's very nice of you.
Now I'm happily married.
For how long? How do you call in? We'll put the link in the chat, but I'm not going to bring people up until after this clip is done. So it's going to probably take like 10 minutes.
I have 1 child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But
a lot of men felt happy whenever the wife's done having kids, whenever she got what she wanted, that's when you see if she likes you. That's when, like, I mean, we can't help it. It's not intentional, right? It's like when you ever think you like a girl, right? You really think you like her, and then you bang her, and you're like, oh, shit, I didn't really like her, did I? You feel a little bad. You didn't mean to use her for sex. But now that you got what you wanted, you realize you just wanted the sex. Women have that with kids, right? So as soon as we get what we want, now we can look and say, do I even like you? Unfortunately, what we found out is that women don't like men nearly as much as we thought. Thank you, Darius. Trad cuck alert. Yep, he's here.
Congratulations. That's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable. And they should be treated as such.
Do these women look like they want to be treated as women of God? Can we just be honest?
Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat him? So I think...
So a question for you. You said you got out there dating and meeting women and stuff like that. And then you said that it kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you specifically? Did you like just start? What happened specifically?
Well, I started warring against my own flesh. It's like trying to fill an empty void. Mm-hmm. There's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man that can only be filled by God alone. Anything else you try to fill with that's not going to satisfy it. Sure. And I tried to do it with sex.
Yeah. So would it be fair? How'd you meet your wife?
We actually had the #1 dating podcast in North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast. Okay. And I'm also friends with Fresh. I know him very well. I texted him before I came here. Yeah. And I know pretty much everyone on your crew. But I was a heavy follower, and you actually inspired me to start the podcast, and I realized what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that when you went through that experience, you were able to identify characteristics that you probably found as unredeemable and you probably wouldn't want to commit to, right?
In what way?
Well, when you were seeing these women, right, you probably started seeing patterns in how they behave, how they speak, or whatever. Maybe they're not qualified to be a wife. Because the thing is, right?
Well, I don't need that. I have the Bible for that. It tells me what to look for.
Yeah, but the thing is that you were able, and again, you're probably not going to notice it, but when you dated and dealt with all these women, you probably were able to identify characteristics that you were not fond of, or characteristics that would make a woman not a good candidate for a long-term relationship. And I think half the game is figuring out which girls don't qualify for marriage versus which ones that do. And clearly you learned a skill.
I'm a bit behind on the live, but a woman did not invent Wi-Fi. It was a man.
That on how to become attractive and get women. And then you're able to identify the things that you like versus the things that you don't like. And that only comes a lot of times with experience. Now, look, if a guy can go ahead and, find a woman as a virgin and be attractive and be able to understand how to navigate that, that's great in modern times. But the reality is a lot of guys don't. And I mean, even in your success story, you had to go through a lot of bad women to be able to identify your current wife as the one. So failures are good. They're good.
Yeah, failures, excuse me, failures in the sense of socioeconomic or maybe even relationship failures could be good. But there's a difference with what I'm saying. I'm saying that we are warned against our soul. Jesus Christ commands us to marry one woman. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah, you think Jesus is in this society? You can't have a Christian marriage because the woman will always have leverage. Sorry, guys. Cut, done, dead, over. You can get lucky and she chooses not to do it, but women in their 50s are getting back in the dating market. You don't know. A lot of people are happy for 10, 20. You're 30, cooked, done.
Causing me to do was sin against myself, and that's the point I'm trying to get to. It's immoral.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take personal responsibility, bro, because here's the reality.
No, I do, 100%.
Yeah, so
very.
And why are you now you're coming in okay.
Yeah,
and that's
in front of over 40,000 people. I've done that.
Yeah, great. But the point I'm trying to make is I teach guys a skill set, right? If I give you a gun and you shoot yourself in the foot, is that my fault? If I taught you how to properly use it, how to disarm it, disassemble it, how to load the magazine in properly, all that. If I give you the skill set, then you shoot yourself in the foot, right? Is that really my fault? No, I just arm you with the skill set. Then you choose what you want to do with it. Now, obviously, you wanted to go toward a sex escapade, which is, I guess, fine. But the reality is I armed you with the tools to become an attractive guy, and you utilize that. You can't come back and get mad and say,
you didn't arm me with that. I became attractive when I followed Jesus. That was it.
Oh, okay. Now it's changing the story.
No, I'm not changing any story. It's one thing.
Men like this drive people from church. I swear to God they do. Oh.
To be attractive in the sense of gaining sexual partners, but it's a completely different thing to be attractive to someone that wants to marry you and spend their life with you and have kids with you. Those are two completely different sexual attractions. If I walk in here looking like Thor, I'm 6'2" and shredded, obviously I'm going to be attractive to women, but it doesn't mean that that's a relationship that produces value for me and my family.
And again, everyone is different, right? For you, it took some time, and you found God, and you shifted. But the reality is I gave you the skill set, and then you choose what you want to do. That's up to you, and you made that decision, not me. I just taught you what to do,
exactly.
how to do it.
It's on me 100%. I'm not placing blame on you, but what I'm...
You literally just did. See, this is like, he's doing the same thing women do where they contradict themselves.
Telling you from someone that listens
here's the other
to you,
thing, too, that you got to understand.
What happens when you speak to people and tell them to do these things.
Here's the other thing, too. Like, now you're operating with 20/20 hindsight. You went through it. You experienced
Correct.
it. You
That's
know.
true.
A lot of guys need to get their hand burned sometimes to figure out how things work. Because, let's be honest, men are very stubborn.
Why do they need to do that? If they find a God-fearing woman, they wouldn't do half the stuff you're talking about.
Well, here's the thing. Finding a God-fearing woman, and
these women don't fear God.
day and age is a lot harder said than done, right? So
I did it.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
And so did everyone in my whole family.
Okay, I got a couple questions. Says I did it. Okay, these would be my questions. Okay, so where did you meet your wife? Then he would say, da-da-da-da-da. So he didn't even answer. He said he had the dating podcast. So maybe the answer is I met her on my podcast. Okay. So what was she doing before she met you? Was she a virgin? Oh, she was. Okay. So how did you verify that? Like, how do you know? Well, I could just tell, like, vagina. I mean, you guys will say that you can tell. Okay. I've never had sex with a woman. So I can't say that, but let's for shits and giggles. So you could verify what, her mouth too? You can verify. All right. Problem is these guys are trampling around shouting at deer. Would you consult the prey on how they'd like to be hunted? What the F is even that in that? Okay. So these would be my questions. I'd be like, so how did you verify the mouth? The butthole? Like, were you able to check? How did you do that? Mm-hmm. Well, I knew people from her hometown. Okay, so if she 10 years ago was on 5 years ago was on dating apps and wanted to have sex in a different city or do anal blowjobs in a different city, how would you verify that she didn't do that? Oh, well, I can just tell, bro. You can just tell. Sometimes I think men are more delusional than women. I really do. And I'm not saying there aren't good women out there. I'm sure there are, but I've interviewed 1,000 and I found like one. So maybe 2. And I can't even really verify that because let's be honest, I don't know how they live their life day to day. People aren't perfect, so I'm not saying I'm perfect, but men are just as, and then the women, they'll try to sell me purity. I'm different. How would I verify that? Okay.
So it's not
her behavior. Okay. Did she get what she wanted out of you yet? Well, she's pregnant. Well, okay. So, all right. Well, how many kids does she want? Okay. She wants 3. Okay. You're on the 2nd. Talk to me after she gets the 3rd. And then let me know how she treats you. And then we can know who she really is. Okay. But women, we can only know the same way. We can only know if you guys like us once you bang us. And that's true. Okay. Don't super simp out here. We can only know if you really like us after you bang us and after you have the option to not date us. Because if you guys have no other choices, then it's like, you don't like us. You just have no other choice. So, okay, let me continue.
Lord.
Yeah, that's anecdotal from your perspective. But again, you learned a skill set. You were able to find a wife, and I'm happy about that. But you got to take a little bit of accountability here and understand that you basically got a loaded gun and shot yourself in the foot, and you're trying to blame me for it.
No, I'm not blaming you. Like I said, I take accountability.
You did. Okay. That's like women saying I took accountability, but my baby daddy did. No. You sound like a woman.
There's a big difference there.
Okay.
But look, nothing against you. Like I said, I've hung out with Fresh 8 or 9 times recently. I love them. And
Are you counting?
I think your heart is in the right place. But I just wanted to give you from someone that actually listened to what you were saying to do, read your book, and it didn't work. That's all I was trying to do for you.
Well, actually, it did. You didn't notice it yet.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to identify your wife.
He's like, I did the thing you said, and then I met my wife, but it's your fault. Then I opened my Bible after.
Able to find her and figure out what characteristics you like and don't like, right? Unless you went through that.
My wisdom came from the Bible, not you. But I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why there's so many simps in church, because the Bible does a great job of preparing men to get women. Maybe the Old Testament, but not in these churches. You guys got to read that Bible for yourself. You can't go to the church to interpret it, because it's like the Bible will be like, women are evil. And then the church will be like, well, forget about that verse. Why don't you look at the one good verse about women, and we'll just keep reading that one on repeat during the sermon. And then the pastor is like, did you yell at your wife, you abusive monster? And the guy's like, it's my house. And then the pastor's like, it's my house now, and I'm going to tell you how to run your house. Don't stay away from church, guys. Okay. Now we're going to do a call-in show. So put the link in the Zoom, in the chat. And the question is, what responsibility do red pill content creators have in 2025? Blue says, sorry, off topic, but do you ever do a book club or review of your thoughts on Esther Villar's The Manipulated Man? I read that a while ago. It's been a while, but maybe I'll give you guys my book recommendations. All right. Okay. Sorry. Let me go back. So the question for the callers is, what responsibilities do red pill content creators have in 2025? Are they giving out advice for men to follow, or just giving men tools to be able to make better decisions? Doug MPA, welcome to the show. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
What are your thoughts?
So this, you know, I was born and raised in the 90s, and 90s raised guys are the most romantic simps ever born into society. We had the R&B music. We had Urkel chasing Laura on Family Matters. We had Roger chasing the sister twins on TV. And a lot of us, they got burned because we didn't have the knowledge that we have right now. Okay. In fact, most of the biggest red pill demons are guys between the ages of like 40 and 55 because we didn't have the knowledge. And now platforms like yours, Myron, men, we are the decision making. We are the decision makers. We have a call to action. It's our masculine burden, right? So men are gonna make decisions. As much as you'd like to say, "Hey guys, men don't get married. Men don't have kids." Most men are still gonna get married. Most men are gonna have kids. But you want them to be able to make the best, most informed decision that they possibly can. Yes, more men are not gonna get married. Yes, more men aren't going to have kids, but those who do are going to be better equipped to find wives and find mothers for their children. It's about putting the knowledge out there. That's why I don't like when people gatekeep the red pill space. Men have only had a voice on YouTube since about 2015 or 2016. But this is in response to over 40, 50 years of unanswered, unfiltered, unadulterated misandry, right? So I prescribe to there can never be enough voices in the red pill space because we need more knowledge out there. You know me, there's a couple of people that you're a fan of that I'm not really a fan of. We can disagree, but I appreciate their voices out there. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need more voices out there. The information is going to be put out there, and men are going to act. We just want them to act, make decisions, but in the most informed way possible.
So what responsibilities do red pill content creators have in 2025?
To make sure that you tell the truth and that it's factual. It's based on facts, data, statistics, and evidence.
Cool. You ready to, there's a lot of callers today.
So there is a woman in the chat named CDKV.
Bring her up.
And she's supposed to be calling in, and she's been hot in the chat. So if you see her in the chat, producer guy, let her in because she is ready to go.
She's there? Oh, yeah, you can. Wait, is the CDK girl? No. These women, all bark, no bite. You can bring Shiv up first. Shiv gave a very nice presentation yesterday on how to make money through SEO, and it was very informative. I actually learned a lot. So if you guys are interested, the link's in the description, theaudacitynetwork.com. Shiv's a very successful guy out in San Francisco, right? And he runs a whole course company, and he's only what, you're 30, 31?
I'm 30.
Yeah, he does really well. So welcome to the show. What is your opinion on the topic, Shiv? What responsibilities do red pill content creators have in 2025?
I think the biggest responsibility in 2025 is to figure out ways to reach the audience that has not entered the red pill. I think the only problem right now with the red pill audience is that it's the people who already are red pilled or that are kind of still in it and they consume it and they want to stay plugged into it. But now it's about how do we Trojan horse those who don't believe in the red pill to kind of have their awakening moment to come inside of it. And so I think that's going to be the biggest challenge in 2025 is how do you get, the blue pillars, the feminists, the liberals, how do you get the whole audience, even the conservatives to really understand the ecosystem, the current dating marketplace? Because it's a hard, at least for me too. I remember when I got introduced to red pill in my early 20s, and it's so jarring that even I was like, no, there's no way women cheat that much. There's no way, right? Like, or whatever the point would be. And it took so much. And thankfully, I had a good business partner at the time that I was actually roommates with, so I couldn't escape. He would always bring it up and show me points, and like he just drilled it. And then finally, I had that moment of like, oh my god, like I did not realize that. I used to believe that men were the only bad people on earth. We're the only ones who can do evil, right? And that was such a big moment for me, but it was not something that one video was going to convince me of. And it just took a process. So I'm actually curious, Doug, if you had a similar thing, or was it like for you, was it instant? But I feel like for a lot of people, it's kind of a gradual journey into red pill.
Well, just real quick, your roommate, how did he find the red pill? Did he go through a bad experience? Because to counter what you're saying, Pearl every once in a while is like, oh, this red pill thing, and I'm like, Pearl, modern women are going to keep being modern women. You always have a job, always.
Oh yeah.
And so most men, they don't take the red pill orally. It gets shoved up their behind, either through divorce or if you date long enough, especially if you try to date attractive women long enough, or if you become ambitious, successful man, most of us are gonna get got somehow. It's just how bad.
Right.
So men, we have to get used to being rejected. We have to get used to picking ourselves up off the ground, failing and trying again. So most men are gonna find the red pill. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So me, I was married and divorced. I told you I'm one of those '90s raised R&B, Urkel on TV type, where I thought that being a nice guy and being romantic and stuff, and I got burned. Luckily, I made it out. I don't have any children. I'm rather successful, but most of us guys, we're gonna get burned somehow. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and it's about how bad.
Right. Yeah. Well, for me, my roommate and my business partner at the time, yeah, for him, he was born in an Asian country. I'm not trying to get too specific because it's some personal details, but he came to U.S. when he was 12 years old. And yeah, he just really struggled through life, but then made it on the other side and made it successful. But he only got successful around like 33, 34. And he was no joke. He was like a 31-year-old virgin, and not because of any religious reasons. Like, wanted to get laid, and in college could not get laid. Throughout, just was ignored. Lived in Detroit, Michigan, as an Asian guy, right? So it was a very difficult situation for him. So and a lot of the same things we all believe. Oh, if you're just nice and treat women great and buy them flowers, like they're just gonna fall in love with you. And yeah, he went through a really horrific experience, and literally it took him like all the things. Like he literally had to get jacked, make $200,000 a month, all this crazy stuff, to just get some like third rate pussy, right? And that was like his big wake up call. I was like, dude, I did all that work just to get like a really like crappy chick, and then
That'll do it.
Yeah, and that did it. So it did actually help me a lot, because I was very kind of naive, and I was such a workaholic. I didn't even think about dating in my early 20s. So to me, yeah, I just wasn't paying attention. I was just, all I could care about was work. And he was the one that was telling me, like, dude, if you don't learn this, and I give him a lot of credit actually, because he said, if you don't learn this, you're gonna get screwed, because you're a guy who makes a lot of money too. He's like, so you want to learn this now. Like, don't think that, oh, you're just focused on making money, and ignore this. He's like, because if you'll find a woman and you'll think, oh, she's really nice to you, and she'll ruin your life and take half your stuff.
There you go.
So I give him actually a lot of credit. But yeah, it was a slow process. I'm not gonna lie, and like it was a really hard journey, because he was already in the deep end at that point, and so it was very jarring for me when he would show me this content. Like, it was so jarring. Now it's hilarious, because I consider myself like way more explicit than he ever was to me back then. But Yeah, it is crazy to think back then the things I would think are controversial. Like I remember thinking it was controversial, just the idea of like, oh, men provide and like men really are mainly the providers. And even that I was like, no, no. My mom very successful, biologist, right? I'm like, no, like my mom was the breadwinner, my dad stayed at home, and see, it worked out. They never got divorced, but of course, I'm doing the thing that all of us do is we try to cherry pick anecdotal stats instead of looking at actual generalized statistics. And the statistics are, if the woman's the breadwinner and the guy isn't, the divorce rate's like 95%. It's like some insane stat.
What happened to your friend? Did he end up ever getting a hotter girl, or was he stuck with the 3 for life?
No, because now he's like 36, 37. It's funny because we ended up like reconnecting a few weeks ago, and no, he is juggling like 9 girls right now. He is
Good for him.
The rotation of all rotations. It's like he's playing Russian roulette with the chicks. It's great.
And I'm telling you, part of it, I've told you before, Shiv, you may be doing well now, but just wait till you hit 35, man. The whole world opens up when you turn 35. I don't know why, but just boom.
I'm excited.
And the biggest lesson I've learned from the red pill is the 2 greatest powers a man has is being able to walk away and to determine who your girlfriend, fiance, and wife is. Don't ever let anything try to take those 2 things away from you.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing too was what's really funny now in abundance, because when you're, at least for me, in your early 20s, you get kind of this one-itis, right? You just try to grab onto any girl that has any level of interest in you. And what's really great now is, and so you would, if she doesn't text you for 2 days, you get like anxiety, like, what am I gonna do? And now it's hilarious because it's so weird to be on the other side where like I'm the guy who doesn't text them for multiple days, and then I have to like make some bullshit excuse, right? Like I would be like, oh, sorry, like, my iCloud account was weird or whatever. Like, oh, sorry, like, yeah, I thought I responded back, and I guess bad cell signal. Whoops. And
But here's the thing, your next evolution, don't give a story at all. Don't explain at all. Why?
No, for sure.
You don't have to. So if you stop calling a girl and she says, "Why didn't you call me?" Just move past it. Say, "I'm here now." Just move past it.
It's great. No, it's honestly, it's just the funniest, like in the world of looking back, even from 25-year-old me to now. I almost think we should make a law that like guys should not be allowed to get married until they're 30. Because God, I feel this is by far the greatest era. Because I feel like at 30 is like when you only start to really know yourself as a guy. That's just me, but like I feel, again, it's awesome. I highly recommend it for those of you who are younger. Just wait until you're 30. It's freaking awesome. And then to Doug's credit, wait until you're 35.
Yep.
And then maybe even 40. 45. Awesome.
Yeah, Doug MPA, I'm curious, do you think there's a cap where you think a guy is waiting too long?
For what?
Like if he wants children? Because...
No.
No? Okay.
Well, so, okay.
Because my dad, he'd always said he was glad he did it. And my dad, like, his life just kind of worked out. So I'm not prescribing this at all. But he said he was glad he did it when he did, which I believe he was late 20s, early 30s maybe. And he said it was because he didn't want to be an old dad at, like, the kids' graduation. Like, he didn't want to be super old with kids.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The only decision the man has to make is, do you want to be 65 when your kid's graduating high school? But other than that, do you want to be 70 when your kid turns 21? That's the only decision the man really has to make. Besides, because here's the thing. Well,
Barron's killing it, Barron seems fine.
I mean, ironically, Pearl, your dad is in such great shape. I would have never in a million trillion years guessed he was like in his 60s. So, like, he to me looks like a young dad. Like he doesn't, so it is kind of ironic that he didn't want to be an old dad, but he seems.
I know.
He seems a young dad even though he's in his 60s. And like I think where for me the only thing I would argue is some guys, and I love Doug's opinion on this. I feel like some guys though, the kids like if they're with the right woman, of course, like having kids puts them into the very serious, like they get a spiritual level of motivation and drive, and it's things become greater than yourself, right? And so I do find there is some like the responsibility level of really finding your true potential. Sometimes when guys have kids, it goes through the roof, and you just have built-in discipline. But I don't know if that's just like a,
I guess
limiting. But
I guess the other argument I just thought of is that if you do it at 30, at least if she ruins your life at 40, you can recover. At like 50 or 60, that's going to be tougher. Right?
Yeah, I think kids, that's always just tricky though, because like you can also argue like if you get married too young, it's so easy to have kids and like pick the wrong woman and not know what you know.
There's no right or wrong. It's just
it's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. But I definitely think like the people who I don't think in modern society a guy having kids before 30 is the most conducive anymore. I think like but I'm also not in the camp of like wait until you're 50 or something. I just think that you gotta just have life experience and some battle scars as a guy.
Oh yeah, 20s you're gonna be cooked. Sorry, fellas, cooked.
Absolutely cooked.
And also, you talking about this whole, a man has kids and then has a greater responsibility. But the biggest problem, because it used to be the man had a greater responsibility than himself. It used to be his wife and his family. But now you have the man who has a greater responsibility than himself to his wife and his family. But his wife is just thinking about herself, not the kids, not the husband. It's all about me, my, like Johnny Gill. So you'll be thinking about the wife and the family and the kids. She'll be thinking about herself.
Yeah, it's a hard situation, right? Because like I feel the guy's responsibilities are also legally bound and the girls aren't. So yeah, you have a kind of a skewed up chessboard. But I guess for someone like me, there's a really good prenuptial agreement. So I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah.
Fun.
Cool. Well, thanks for calling in, Shiv. Appreciate it as always. Shout
Always
out
good
your
talking to you,
channel
brother.
while you're here.
What?
I said shout out your channel while you're here.
Yeah, it's youtube.com/Shiv SHIV Iyer AIYAR.
I'm gonna put it in the chat right now.
youtube.com/Shiv Iyer.
Yeah.
That's the YouTube channel.
Cool. Thanks for calling in, Shiv.
Yep, absolutely. See you.
Yeah. All right, who we got next? What? Oh, sure, you can bring him up. What's going on, Dustin?
Yo, another day. It's a good day. Hey, Pearl, I wanted to say, the Audacity Network, I have a couple, like I got like master class and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and the Audacity Network by far has like content that's worth listening to.
Cool. I'm glad you like it. There's more to come. Now you guys can catch your girl cheating after this weekend. We're recording some stuff. If you guys want to learn how to CIA investigate like a woman,
No.
you can catch these hoes. So what are your thoughts on the topic? What do you think about what responsibility do red pill content creators have in 2025 for men's choices?
I think it's really just kind of aggressively putting men into the best position to deal with I guess you'd call it the dating climate right now. Because right now, like, I mean, I don't know, times move so fast. Like when I was younger, I was just running around like smashing everybody I could and spending all my money. And like I wish I would have had this content back then, because I would have saved a lot. I know I've spent at least one house trying to catch some women, you know.
Dang, even with the 2 jobs that you told us.
Oh, dude, I was working like 3. I would get off at midnight and I'd go pick a chick up, like do something quick, and then like just go home and get like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, his last show, he said he met women by getting jobs, like part-time jobs.
That's what you gotta do, dude. Go work at a grocery store at like midnight, because girls think like that's a great job, like stocking a grocery store, and sometimes you get a hot one, and they quit in like 2 weeks. So, it's really good turnover.
So are red pill content creators giving out advice for men to follow, or just giving men tools to be able to make better decisions?
Well, I think that probably number two, because it's tough to follow. Like, it's hard. I think it's hard for men to go online and be like, I'm going to get something that I'm going to take home later. I'm going to follow this all the time. So I think that the stories just give us the tools. Like, hey, maybe I'll hold off on this one. Definitely the tools for success. I mean, but guys are dumb, so we're still gonna mess up. Like, we can have everything, but yeah, I can't deny a beautiful woman.
What was your red pill moment? Did you have one?
Oh yeah. Oh man. I was just dude. Okay, so I was dating this girl I really liked, but then I was at the bar, and this girl grabbed, I don't know, she grabbed my ass and said she really liked me, and she asked me for a ride home. And the girl that I was dating was like, "Are you coming over tonight?" I said, "Yeah." But if a girl asked me for a ride home, I'm not saying no to that. So I took her home, and she told me I should park, and I was like, "Oh, this is great," So I did my thing there, and then I drove to my girl's house, and I didn't even get to shower. And I did my thing there, and they both found out, and then no one wanted anything to do with me. And like, it just kind of ruined a lot. Like, I lost a job, I lost a lot of things. And
So you lost a job because you smashed two girls in one night?
It was because it was my boss. The girl I was dating was my boss, and yeah, everyone, you just can't sleep with who you work with. I was like really crazy when I was younger.
At least he's
hopefully,
honest.
Yeah, hopefully I can. Like, people are like, "Oh, your daughter's gonna date guys like you." I tell them, "No, I'm not. No, she's not, because I'm gonna teach her not to be an idiot." Like,
wait, hold on. So how was that a red pill moment? Because you lost your job?
I just lost, like, because the woman I was dating, she should have protected my employment.
Oh, okay.
And I just knew then there was no honor among thieves.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like.
So let me get this straight.
When my ex took my kid, I already knew she was dastardly, and I was like, women are evil. Back then, I knew. I was like, women are up to no good all the time.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your red pill moment was because you cheated on the. Were you like, it was your girlfriend?
Yeah.
So you were dating your boss, and you had sex with a girl right before her. You didn't even shower. Did anyone catch anything?
No.
Okay, so that's okay. And so you expected her to not fire you after.
Well, yeah, I didn't think she'd fire me, but then it was like her, and then there was like a clique of women when I would get into work, and everyone just stopped talking to me, and I felt so ashamed of my actions, and
you should have just
like,
tried.
I went home and I like wrote about it. I was like, I was such a little bitch, And
should have tried to hit on girl number 3. That would have been so funny. Imagine if you just tried to run through the entire clique instead.
Dude, there's no such thing as bad publicity, It's fine.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Doug MPA, do you have any other questions for him?
Nah, man, that's just always good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, let's get the next one. I thought he was going to say a false accusation, took the kid, whatever. No, I smashed 2 girls in one night, and he fired me. That's so funny. Carlos, what's going on?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. Thank you for asking.
So, what responsibility do red pill content creators have in 2025?
I mean, it's the information. We just things are a lot different these days. It has been a gradual progression where it's kind of like that analogy about the frog being cooked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you throw it in a boiling pot of water, it jumps out.
Yeah.
But if you leave it in there until it boils, they're cooked. And I think that's where that comes from. I think that's where a lot of people get that word from, is cooked. So yeah, that's just where it's just women are different. And also at the same time, men are different too. And I'm actually like just hearing about the whole kid situation with the first guy that was on. I'm actually a single father of 4 kids, and I was married, and I got the kids. So it's a lot of men don't get that, but I was fortunate and came out of family court unscathed pretty much.
So Carlos, I want to tell you, you're an inspiration, man. Keep it up, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I've often thought about starting a channel for single fathers.
You should.
I mean, at least like start something for like fathers. I mean, the way I look at it is, I mean, my children have my last name. So it's a legacy. I got 2 sons, 2 daughters. My daughters, I'm gonna love them till the hooker shoes are off of them. They're not gonna, to the best of my ability, not gonna turn out like a lot of the women these days. So, and then my sons, they'll carry on the name. So it's kind of like the clip you were playing about Myron, and just like, well, we're meant to reproduce. That's what it is. If you're not contributing to a nuclear family, then what use are you? Because children are always the future through every generation.
So, were you red pilled through the content or through life?
I think it was more life, because I didn't find the red pill content until after I went through what I went through, and which was pretty freaking crazy. Going through the family court system and stuff like that.
She had to have done something. You got custody. She had to have done something nuts.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I mean,
you don't have to get into specifics, but how bad was it? Like, well, what did it take for? How bad did she have to get for you to get custody of your children? You don't have to go into specifics, but just a kind of an idea.
Just well, she was hanging around the wrong people. That's it. And that's where, I mean, going out to the bars, doing that stuff. And I mean, I could have divorced her right away, but she was dating somebody that was violent. And I thought about my kids, and I'm like, look, if I leave, because I wanted to leave. I was about to straight up leave and go move to another state and stuff. And I just thought to myself, look, if I leave, my kids are going to be with her. This person is violent. He's going to be violent towards my kids. And I had to give it time. I couldn't just straight up divorce her right away, because if I did, I didn't have evidence to show it. But as time went on, then stuff was starting to happen to her. And then she was open up to me about everything that's happening, showing me pictures and whatnot. And of course, when our finalization of divorce came through, I used it all against her and got the kids.
Chess. That's chess.
Yeah, exactly.
That's chess. Yeah.
Exactly.
So basically, she was doing all this wild stuff, and instead of getting mad and divorcing her, you just waited, got evidence, and took it to court. Smart.
Yep.
Smart man.
Yep. So, and it's just like, I mean, I bet you there's a lot of fathers out there that want to be around their kids. Because I mean, honestly, I listen to Fresh and Fit. I listen to Myron. The thing that it seems like he just started recently saying this was, women will give up their family for their happiness, but men will give up their happiness for their family. So that's exactly what I did. And, we have a good life. My ex-wife is freaking pretty much right now homeless. She can't find a man, and she's pretty. She's pretty and can't find a man. Like, and of course, someone's not going to commit to someone that has 4 previous kids with another man. And I tried telling her this crap, and I just let her do her thing. I took the emotional hit, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get through this. And it turned out well for me.
How has dating been as like a single dad of 4?
It's actually been pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Because I use the dating, like I'll go to take my kids to parks, zoos, and stuff like that, and I look for the opportunity to talk to women. And I don't get out too much. I work a full time job and I'm taking care of my kids, so I'll get on the dating websites, and I just talk to women. And it's like, and a lot of the women that I've been with are single mothers. No, I'm not going to commit to them. I got plenty enough kids. But for recreational use, it's like Marco Polo. They understand me. It's just they can relate to me, and they haven't met a man that's taking care of 4 kids by himself, has no debt, has his life together, and everything's good. It's like an anomaly almost. They don't see it. So when they come across me, it hasn't been that bad.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Carlos. That's awesome that you got custody of your kids. That's awesome. Doug MPA, you get. Sorry, go ahead.
And don't think about starting a channel. Just do it, man. Your voice would be important in this space. The fact that you got your 4 kids, that you're working to take care of them. I'm telling you, don't think about it. Just do it. And thank you for calling in, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos.
Yes.
Let me see if I thought I saw a super chat. Did you see a super chat go in, Doug MPA? I don't know if I missed one. So let me scroll up. Let me go to the other page.
Yeah, I think one did, but I had to refresh it because.
Hold on. Let me pull it up while they get the next call. Oh, I have it. Look what happened to Shannon Sharp from Warrior for Truth. Bryce Guerva, that dude who found God, should marry Nala. He could be husband number 2. She's going to need one. Sam O, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. It's nice to talk to you, Pearl.
Nice to talk to you, too.
So, yeah, I've been listening to all this red pill stuff for a few years now. And for that guy not to take responsibility for what he was doing is pretty crazy. I don't know. I feel like he kept saying things like women aren't sex objects, and I don't know, bringing up the Bible and everything. But Myron doesn't really go against what the Bible's teachings are anyway. I feel like the traditionalism that they teach is, I don't know, pretty much rooted in that. But I don't know. I feel like the analogy he used, that he basically shot himself in the foot, that explains it all.
And did you get red pilled through content or through life?
It was basically through life, slowly, because grew up in pretty ghetto area, and it was all liberal, my whole life. But yeah, I think the content definitely expedited things.
And was it
what was one of the big? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just curious what happened first, the content or the life, or did it happen at the same time?
It was life. That definitely came first. I'm 35 now, and I didn't really get into this stuff until I guess I was listening to Kevin Samuels, and I heard you on the show, and started listening to your stuff, and then Fresh and Fit. But yeah, I think everything that they talk about, I mean, I don't think they do it to mislead anybody. It's just giving you the tools that you need to be able to use them, the way you see fit. And people need to have experience in what they're doing, or they're gonna get run over.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Sam. Do you have any other questions for him, Doug MPA?
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from the red pill space?
Oh, good question.
The biggest lesson is that there are definitely, I think most people are wolf in sheep's clothing. They try to get what they can out of you in whatever way that they can. I just feel like people shouldn't be so trusting.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thanks for calling in, Sam O. Call in anytime, okay?
All right. Thanks, guys. Keep it up.
Sean. What's going on, Sean?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
So, did you get red pilled by the red pill or life? What happened first for you?
Life. Oh, wait, no. By the red pill. By the red pill. My bad.
So it was the content that came first?
Yeah, it was the content that came first.
Really? So what did you find
right?
initially? Go ahead.
What did I find?
Yeah, like what content creators did you find that red pilled you?
CGA.
Oh, CGA.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Big
he's
homie.
great. Yeah.
The one and only. So I came into the CGA space, and it was mostly like a lot of my lessons in life actually were from the losses of other people. So I've been very observant like that throughout my life. So I learned from the losses that other people took and was like, oh man, I ain't got to do that myself. And so net, I was on a quest for the information.
Got it. So you'd seen a couple information, you'd seen a couple things happen and then you started looking for the content, or did it just pop up on your feed?
Just look for the content mostly, because that was definitely not in my algorithm, right? So I was looking for the content, but I'm always a curious guy. Like, so I'll be looking for anything, rabbit holes, beware of the pale horse. Like I was always just looking for information. So that was something I stumbled into.
Okay. And so what responsibility do red pill content creators have in 2025 for men's decisions?
Yeah, since I have that background in the military, I'm kind of always like, everybody's accountable for their own decisions if they're grown adults, right? Even kids to a point. So it's like, I don't blame content creators. I see something like, I've worked many government organizations. So let's say an example, right? Pearl, you or CJ or somebody else, right? Y'all create content and someone else will find your content, right? And they'll be like, oh man, I like what Pearl talks or Fresh and Fit. And then they'll evolve, right? Where they move on, right? From consuming the content, maybe changing their life, right? Maybe they get their economics. Maybe they get their health in shape. Maybe they get the Bible, like that one guy, right? He got the Bible now, right? And instead of just realizing that that person was a drill instructor, meaning a part of their growth and development, they'll come back and be like, oh man, drill instructor, you still talking the same stuff and you're wrong. Now that I got the Bible and I found my girl, you were detrimental to my life. And it's like, they don't see that that person was instrumental in their life, right? They affected them in positive ways and they just moved on. And I think most people who are finding themselves in the red pill space, those content creators, that's what they do. They're drill instructors, right? So they continue to train people and new recruits come into learning the red pill. And so though they might be stagnant and repeat the same things, other people just find that the red pill space, right? So they need to be indoctrinated and learn about things. So I think everybody has their own space, and I don't really go back and forth with, oh man, they told me something and my life's destroyed because of them. No, they're just a tool.
Do you know who I think did that really hard? Hafiz. He got like one hot chick and then crashed out on the red pill.
Crashed out. Besides getting body slammed by CGA and everything. Like he
body
also,
slam.
yeah,
I'm like, he had one.
He got pedigreed, like straight on television. So it was pretty bad. Adam set him up, man. But yes, you're right. that was a perfect example,
I think
right?
if he's had such a big ego, he would have did it anyway. And if he knew it was coming,
he crashed out on the space after.
He crashed out on me. He
fault.
crashed out on me the next day.
Yeah, right.
Like I would try to.
Like, wow.
I didn't. Oh my gosh, that was such a weird experience because he just ran my show where like. I felt like I was being gaslit because he would go on like a really long monologue and I'd try to say something and be like, stop interrupting me. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, right?
And I'm like, am I interrupting?
This is my show.
I don't know. No, the way I think, I'm like, maybe I talked too much. And then I watched it back and I said like 10 words the whole time.
Like, nah, wait, hold on. I'm not the crazy one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, now he's gone.
That's the essence, man.
Now he's off the internet. I don't know where he went.
Yeah, right after he crashed out, the roommate's channel just ceased to exist pretty much.
Unless it's
I think he went somewhere. I think he came back recently. I don't know.
The roommates.
It might have been
I don't know. I think he
he has been going live and covering different things, but he's spitting all over the camera when he's talking. So it's kind of hard to watch.
Succotash. Yeah, man. Shout out to him though, man. But I get it. He had his own little groove. And then of course, as I say, I think everybody's useful to an extent. And everybody has a different walk of life. Like the guy who was blaming Myron and saying like Jesus Christ was his way. Of course, everybody from the Bible has stories before they got to God. And so again, your path makes you, it molds you. And I don't tend to look back at CGA and be like, because I ain't listening to him every day, he's garbage. No, I've evolved. He was a part of my development. And I think it was my choice at the end of the day. So I would never place blame on a content creator. I think that's childish. You are a grown, functional adult. It is your choice.
No, I was like, what are you?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm like, that's what women do. Like, we just
exactly.
Like,
and we're supposed to be in this space. But I think what happens when you lead, this can happen too. I talk about this too. Like I've led a lot from the military and private sector, but it's like people have choices. And as often as leaders, you forget about fellowship. Like, man, like some people, you got to put them in the brig, Pearl. You can't lead them. It doesn't matter how good of a general or a captain I am, right? They're a serial killer, right? So they need to go to prison. You can't lead somebody out of that sometimes. And so people make their own choices and their own decisions in life. And followers have their own responsibility. So I would never I think you could lead and be like, I'm going to save everybody. They got to decide to want to save themselves.
Yeah, I know. And that's I think that's a really big part of maturing is when you're younger, you may blame somebody else or having the wrong information or your parents or whatever the hell it is. But I think part of maturing is realizing that even when you did something with the wrong information, you still wanted to do it. Like it was your parent, because there's people with terrible parents that one brother turns out to be a serial killer, like you said, and one turns out to be a really successful adult, right? And so at some point, it's just what you wanted to do. And same thing with the whores, right? Like everyone's saying they don't want to be whores.
But these guys want to absolve them like that guy probably that was carrying the Bible. They know not what they do. Eve knew what she did, and so did Adam. And I think that story was all about self-agency. Yeah. Eve blamed the snake, and Adam blamed Eve. They both passed the buck, but God gave them free will. So the end of the story was to teach you, everybody has their free choice. It's up to you. Well, and don't blame the snake or Eve.
And I think too, I think sometimes those guys get really empathetic to women that we sleep out of our league, right? And then we get our feelings hurt. But men get their feelings hurt all the time. So you're supposed to take that L, eat it, and then find your league, right? That happens to men. Yeah. I mean, men go for a girl out of their league, they get rejected. And then they eat it, and then they figured out what their league is. But these guys, they believe the women, when they women have these sob stories, and I can tell a guy's blue pill if he believes them. Because if a woman picks an abusive guy, that's what she wanted at the time. It doesn't mean she'll want it forever, but at the time, or a player guy, it's that's what she wanted, because there's a plethora of guys that are not like that you can pick from.
And Pearl, there's a book. There's books that have been written by words of women that is called Why Women Have Sex. Yeah, they wrote it. So, some guys, we like to believe, no, man, in order for a girl to be with you, she got to be emotionally attached. It's nah, the book even said with women saying it from 60 to 40 to 20. They're like, look, I wanted a taste of some chocolate, so I tried it. I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to get married to that guy. I wanted to try some chocolate. Yeah. But guys don't believe that. They're like, oh no, she a victim to feminism in society. It's nah, they've been thotting and bopping all the way back.
And every time a girl, oh my gosh, every time a guy says my girl is different, she's so convenient.
Oh, she different. Though.
Yeah. And then she's so conveniently moved from out of town. Did you know her in high school? And again, I'm like, can you verify that she was doing none of these things?
Yeah, what that mouth did. I think that's what you said.
Well, I went to Catholic school. I saw the workarounds.
Exactly, bro.
I saw
Like,
the.
come on.
I've only been with 2 men. Well, you blew 10, so like, what's the difference, right? Like,
Exactly.
you might
And
as
then
well have
humanize.
you might as well have just caught a body at that point. Like, what's the
Facts.
like?
So facts. I just say humanize. Humanize people. Humanize your girl. She can do that. She is not different. She is human, not alien. And so net, just humanize her. And I think the last guy was super stoic. The one who said, I didn't get emotional. I didn't get mad and start raging and start like, you know what I'm saying? Calling up the cops and my friends. He said, oh, okay. And he collected more intel. And then he checkmated. So that's what you do. Now, somebody probably was that's rude, that's mean, that's manipulative. That's why you're losing the war. But for him, he was able to maintain his emotionals, that's EQ, emotional intelligence, and then later on use the information in his benefit that save his children. So shout out to that guy.
Yeah, you know what that reminds me of? We're doing a show, we're probably maybe tomorrow actually, called Poker Face. And it's talking about exactly that. Like, the question is going to be, what is like the craziest thing a girl has said to you where you've had to keep on a poker face? Because like women, we don't really, we've never had to learn one, but men from a young age, they hear something messed up and they freak out and it doesn't go well. And so they have to learn like to not let it show when we say something messed up. Oh, your body count is 35? Oh, that's awesome, you know, or whatever.
Oh, okay. Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. How did you come along that?
Or dating's so terrible around here. Men are just so terrible, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. Elaborate.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. And all these men are terrible. And my ex-boyfriend was terrible. And okay.
Oh wow. Okay. What kind of? Oh, interesting.
We've all had dates like that. All of us.
Or
Yeah,
she's
right.
talking about,
Just keep it.
she's like, what are your political beliefs? I really believe men and women I believe in equality.
Just be listening, bro.
Yeah.
And then just make the decision on the back end. You don't even have to confront the opponent. Like, let me read you off these Myron points and CGA and Pearl talking points. Nah, just let it be. Let that person back out into the wild, man. If that's not really, if that really doesn't go with your vibe, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. You ain't for me. I wouldn't even tap it neither, guys. Stay away from it. Because that's going to put you in a situation. So I think there's no responsibility. Guys, control your own destiny. And then everybody like Pearl, they're tools, but don't blame them. You a grown, oh, no, wait, hold on, Pearl. You a colonizer, so we got to blame you, right?
Oh, my God, not again.
Your contract was lit. I'm trying to get signed underneath that. I get to keep my rights and everything. Oh, hell. Like, come on, man.
Yo, do you know
Give
what's
me the
crazy?
contract.
I was losing so much money on these channels.
I know you was. Bro.
I know. I had
Come on,
I had to cut them because oh my God. And then I'm like,
crazy.
I'm losing money and I'm a colonizer.
And
now,
this is what you calling me? Like, really?
Yeah, I learned my lesson. I was like, now
You got all your freedom, all your rights, and I'm the colonizer.
Yeah,
Okay.
now people pay me to do this. I don't give out contracts anymore. I said now it's a service. So feel free. Just Pearly Things at gmail.com. My average is right now it's 100K in a year, or 50 to 100K in a year. So with our systems, it's not cheap though. No brokies.
No brokies. Yeah, take them out, Pearl. Yo, it was crazy too. They was like, yo, Pearl dead. I'm like, yo, she about to hit 2 million. Is that dead to y'all? Like, yo, people be wild. Like,
Well, okay, you guys have to
what they want.
delete 10,000 videos and see, because the thing is about a channel is you build off of your previous views. So everyone else, you have like 2-year-old videos that will still make you money. I had to delete 10,000.
Yeah, right.
And
To
get
in line.
demonetized. I'm like, yeah, you guys go do that and tell me how it goes for you. Get there first. Sorry, that these video people.
Yeah. Right.
They're
But yeah,
so
man,
broke, and then it's just annoying.
That was wild, man. I was like, bro, come on, man. Come on, man.
He did it with
and
an
you took all the risk.
Did it with an
Come on.
Africa chain and everything. I'm like, he was committed.
Yeah, yo, like what?
A turtle.
Completely free? Oh man, that's mad disrespectful to colonization. Period. Like, come on, man. You in AC? Like, come on, man. Talking crazy.
I was in England too. That was a crazy thing. It's like
Yeah,
I wasn't even
right?
in my country.
Yo, man. These YouTube streets be wild.
It's like
Hey,
I'm
man,
not even
y'all-
a citizen here.
That's what I said. And then you got to worry about people blaming you. Like, you gave me the wrong advice, Myron. And I talked to Fresh. I'm cool. I just hanged out with him 5 days ago. But net, you led me astray. But I'm taking accountability and blaming you at the same time. I'm like, bro, you fit perfect with those liberals right there that you're talking with, because that is mad.
Yeah.
Don't blame Myron.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. Anytime you have a bunch of purple-haired, half-transformer loser women cheering you on, you're doing
Yeah,
something
you know
wrong.
you messing up, right?
Yep.
Like, I need to hear boos to know that I'm right on. Like, boo, get him out of here. And I'm talking.
Especially on a college campus these days.
But he got his girl. Leave him alone, Doug. Come on, man. His girl's different. So just remember that.
I'll see you at 35, sir.
Yeah.
37.
You got 5 to
What-
7 years.
Yeah, I'll see.
Right?
We'll be here. I'm gonna be employed forever. So he can call into my show in a decade and let me know how it went for him.
Exactly. He won't. He'll be like 3-time type of dude. He need to circle the block at least 10 times. So I don't think that would happen. But as y'all were saying earlier, definitely, guys, build yourself up, make yourself to be a great man. And when you get older, that's where you're actually going to receive most of your laurels of life. So just keep doing you, but don't blame Pearl or Doug.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Sean. You got any other questions for him, Doug MPA?
Sean, always good to talk to you, man. Call in anytime, my bro.
Yeah.
No problem, yo. Shout out to y'all. Audacity Network, hit her up. Put the money in our pocket.
Yeah,
Peace.
guys. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, Hafiz did disappear off the face of the earth. He hasn't posted in 8 months. Who we got next? What? Gabe, what's going on, man?
What's up, Pearl? You're actually the second red pill influencer I talked to today.
Who else you talk to?
Donovan Sharp, actually, because he was reacting to the same college campus video with Myron that you were reacting to.
Sure. So tell me, were you red pilled through life or through content?
Oh, hold on a second, Pearl. I need to turn down the video. Hold on, Pearl. Hold on.
It's all right.
Okay. All right. What were you asking me now?
Were you red pilled through life or through content?
Life first, content second.
So what was your red pill moment?
That's a very interesting question. I think in the years leading up to the pandemic, when I was either going through one rejection after another and or seeing like people's true colors when it came to that whole Me Too like crap that I was referring to like last time I talked to you, and how nasty they would get, like not just to me but to other men in general. So yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question or not.
So basically the way women would react to you would be, and other men that's what red pilled you. And then when you saw the content, you realized it was a universal experience, or it was common?
I grew up hearing so many crazy women speaking the way the girls speak on when you were doing the panel debates, and what Myron and Fresh and Fit and the whatever podcasts do with their debates with all the crazy broads, like that fight you saw that one time with those two crazy ladies or whatever on Fresh and Fit about, what was it, a year ago or whatever? I grew up seeing that on a regular basis.
And so that's really what red pilled you.
I would say life more than content, but the content helps supplement and like basically like give me that like rude awakening or not. Let me backtrack that awakening of, yeah, this is, not normal, whatever. So, yeah.
So it kind of validated what you'd been seeing pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think when I first like saw you, I think if I remember correctly, what I was like looking at was, or like, I think searching on YouTube was like, I think women that don't support feminism or whatever. There was one like underground, like, lady years ago named, I think, Shield Wife or whatever. She kind of was like you, but more underground. And then I think your content came up after that.
And so how responsible do you think content creators are for men's actions in 2025?
I've been thinking long and hard, hearing everybody else in this Zoom call say what they say, and I definitely hear where they're coming from, and I do think I do agree with what they're saying. I personally believe there is no responsibility though, because at the end of the day, like I think the last guy said, it is up to the follower to be the one that, paves their own path in life. But because I mean, you see in the outside world, all the feminists that blame all the red pill or anti-feminist, content creators that, oh, they're the reason why the men are horrible and hate women and all that. But at the end of the day, is it really them who are the problem, or is it maybe say they just don't like that those creators are basically exposing them for, their BS, so to speak?
Mm. Yeah, totally. Doug MPA, do you have anything to add?
I do not.
Well, thanks for calling in, Gabe. A pleasure as always.
Yeah, thanks. All right.
Bye-bye. Let's see where we got next.
Yeah,
make sure you mute Darius, I think it says. Make sure you turn off the stream in the background. So you can unmute, just make sure the stream's off.
Yo, what's good? What's cracking?
How's it going, Darius? How are you?
I'm straight.
So,
what's cracking?
So, did you get red pilled through life or through content?
Life first. But like content helped me make sense of it.
What red pilled you? Like what happened?
When I got out of a relationship and I was in court, I was in court on something unrelated to the relationship, and then like I came home from court, and I guess she knew I was in court that day because I had broke up with her like a couple weeks before that, and I came home and my house had been broken into, 3 PlayStations, a laptop, a tablet.
She robbed you?
And my TV. And my baseball bat that my pops gave me in the 3rd grade.
Wait, it was her? She robbed you?
Yeah, she broke into my house while I was gone. And then when I called the police, you know what I'm saying? I had to call the police about the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, you got to make an official report about shit. And then they didn't even put her name in the official report because I didn't see her breaking in, when we know how it would have went if she simply would have claimed that I stole her purse.
Got it. So then what content creators did you find first?
Like,
was there a video that stood out that you were like, whoa, this makes sense of everything? Or
Better Bachelor, Strong Successful Male, and this is like right before before things got locked down in 2020. Better Bachelor, strong, successful male. Like I've been rocking with SSM from the beginning, like from the beginning of his channel, and for a while I was watching Donovan Sharp. Like I did start with Donovan Sharp.
Cool. And so, do you think that they have any responsibility for men's actions?
Not their actions, they just giving information, and you know what I'm saying, to help men make better decisions, regarding women, or or like other content creators. They'll you know what I'm saying, they're more leading towards like male sovereignty, like, but it's like, but it's still your decision to make. They just letting you know risk benefit analysis of dealing with females in the modern era.
Got it. Cool. Doug MPA, you got any other questions for him?
Who was the first Black Manosphere person that you ran into? Because mine was honestly Thomas Sotomayor. Back in 2015, 2016, he was it, man. But then then he kind of went off the deep end after a while. But he was legit in like 2015, 2016, 2017. He was legit.
Okay. Other than right after Donovan Sharp, the second black guy I was watching was Coach Greg Adams. And I was watching Coach Greg Adams for a good little minute.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for calling in, Darius.
All right. Arrivederci. Oh, can I shout out my channel?
Go ahead.
It's just Darius Coleman. I see you kind of tired. Today, Pearl. At this point, so.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to show it. Just getting late here.
No. I could tell, you know what I'm saying? I made content before, and I'm gonna get back to making content pretty soon. So
stick with it. Stick with it.
I know what it's like when it's been a long day.
Yeah. All right. Stick with it, though. You never know when your channel's gonna pop off. So stick with it. All right.
All right. Stay up, P.
Thank you, Doug MPA. You want to do one more caller?
Sure.
Okay.
I was hoping that CDKV would have called in, but I guess not. She was too chicken. Anyway, go ahead.
We got a Paula. Do we have a woman calling in? I didn't think any women watched my show.
Paula, are you there? Paula.
It's not fully connecting, I don't think. I'm going to give her 10 seconds, and then we're going to move on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Next. Sorry, Paula. Okay, this girl in the chat said she can't call in because she's driving. Lady, were you texting and driving?
Hey, come on, Pearl. It's modern women.
I know.
You know what? That's what's funny about a TikTok. So you'll have women driving, and you'll see the warning. It'll say, "Please do not do this activity. Please don't do this activity while driving," because these broads keep driving while they're posting on TikTok.
Classic. Matt, what's going on?
Not much. How about you?
Not much. So what red pilled you, life or what was I responsible?
Well, you added to it. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Okay. What actually was life. Okay. So like I said, I was born in 85. I lived through the 90s. I kind of, I understand a little bit of Doug MPA's little life shows here. Okay. So what really pushed me over the edge, okay, was oddly enough, high school. Well, junior high I got kind of sort of a taste of the Gluck Gluck, but the high school was really where things went terribly south for me in grade 10, first starting high school. And said some stuff I shouldn't have and humiliated myself for past 3 years of staying there. So I had to learn the hard way. If you're going to go and look for women, go to other people's high schools and don't shit where you eat.
What happened? Like they exposed a note or what?
No, I was a fucking simp.
Oh, okay. You
Said
sent
some
out.
stuff I shouldn't have. Yep, that was just, it's just simple that. It's just some really really terrible simpish shit.
Matt, I'll do one better. 5th grade, Doug and PA, right? I wrote a love letter to this girl.
Oh no.
Right? Oh, it was bad. 5th grade, and this is at the beginning of the year. This is like November of the school year, right? I wrote a love letter to this girl, and I told you that's 90s raised guys, man. It was just terrible. So anyway, gave it to her. Not only did she laughed in my face, and then she read it to everybody.
Oh.
Oh.
That's just,
yeah. 5th grade.
That is so. That's so
Yeah,
uncalled for.
and then so I had to eat that the rest of the year. People, oh yeah, why do you care what anybody said? No, I had to eat that the whole rest of the year.
That's fucked.
Brutal.
Yep.
That's totally unacceptable.
And that's why it's funny, guys. Don't ever take advice from women about things that they're never gonna do, i.e., approaching women, dating women, because what do women say? Oh, if you ask one of your female friends, how do I approach a woman? Oh, be confident, bro. What does that mean? You gotta feel a vibe, bro.
Just tell her how you feel.
Come on now. And some of the most powerful, these strong, independent women, surgeons, doctors, lawyers, will do everything except approach a man, court a man, and propose to a man. They just won't do it.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally get it. I'm just like, oh shit. You know, I've watched a lot of content of Donovan Sharp, from you, Pearl. I guess what else was there? There was Strong Successful Male like that guy. Taylor the Fiend is another one.
Oh, he's funny.
I like him too. Yeah, he's pretty funny. And then there was that other guy that he refers to that talks about the space animator character that keeps roasting women. I forget his name. But yeah, no, I started learning about all this stuff, and then I could see it. You know, you can't help but see it. Donovan Sharp, and I know you, Pearl. Like, you know, it's hard listening to you guys. It really is. Okay, I'm sorry, but the reality of the situation is what it is, and it's not easy to listen to. I haven't been laid for like 17 years. Okay, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm 40 years old now. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen. And I've got even more problems to deal with when it comes to that goes beyond the Red Forest content that nobody's even talking about. And I won't even entertain it on your channel. I'm just going to say right now, like, even though we all women's bad decisions, I now have to worry on top of all of that is this certain C-19 medical procedure that everybody was sanctioned into taking, or else they couldn't keep their jobs or go to school or travel. And now I have that to add to it all.
Right.
Right. So I can't have any involvement with any of these women that have gone down that road. And even if they are accountable for their actions and they're fit and they, you know, and maybe they're the Amish, maybe they're almost classified as the Amish girl that's sweet and submissive. If they got that shit, I can't have that. And you can't tell. And yeah, like you said, you can't tell if they've taken it in the ass. You can't tell if they've taken down the throat. And I got that to worry about. And I see it everywhere. Okay. There was a time when I go to university, like I was still at the University of Winnipeg there briefly. Like, goddamn, I could just sit there and talk to women, and they're just all of a sudden all wet and juicy for me. And then one day, when I reached when I turned into my 30s and beyond that, they just gone, disappeared. Wouldn't entertain a day, and just wouldn't entertain it. And then just this summer, I went to go get riding instructions for horses. Now I have a particular area in my life where I'm trying to take responsibility for my actions and get out of the system, right? Grow your own garden, horses for transportation, solar panels for energy, guns for safety, so on and so forth, right? Ham radio equipment for communications. Taking maximum accountability for your actions right now. I'm going through a super manosphere supercharge. How much accountability can I take? All right, for my actions, for everything. And I'm telling you right now, it's not comfortable. And and there's just and the girl that I was paired with, really nice 21-year-old, very sweet. And you can tell, she had the eye for me for a little bit. I fucking said too much and ruined it, obviously. And I see it, I see the tattoos all over their arms. I see the nose ring, and I'm just like, fuck.
And so what responsibility do you think that content creators have for men's actions in 2025?
Honestly, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one. I don't think that if you're gonna come online and you're gonna spout whatever speech you want, speech is free. I don't think you necessarily, unless you sign a non-disclosure account, I don't think you really have any accountability, any responsibilities for anything. All right. It's not the content's responsibility. It's the person who is receiving it, what they're going to do with it. What did they verify it? Did they take the effort and responsibility to integrate it into their lives?
Yeah.
I can't, I just said I'm on a spurt here of taking maximum accountability for my actions. Okay. Not very many people can do that. Like I told you before, when I first stepped online, that the cops came to my store and invaded my home, stole all my guns, my property, computers, and everything too, and tried to charge me for a bunch of shit. Okay. So I was risking 3 years in jail. Was everything with the law wrong? And was the judge wrong? Or is it everybody wrong in that situation? Absolutely. But you know what? What got them here in the first place? You know what got them here? Me talking too much. Okay? Me talking too much almost got me 3 years behind bars in Canada for a trafficking offense. Okay?
Yikes.
Who brought them here? Who brought them here? Me. Okay? So if I was, and that's you want to see what accountability for your actions looks like? That's it. There you go. Okay? So if I am going to absorb red pill content, okay, there are things, for instance, I like Donovan Sharp. A lot of the Donovan Sharp does is painful to listen to, but I have to give him credit where credit is due. Okay. What you teach, what you say online here is hard to listen to, Pearl, but I got to give credit where credit is due. And you can go and listen to simps too that tell you, you got to crack the Bible. You got to go to church every day. You got to pray to God. You got to get married. It's your responsibility to start the family and keep going. Okay. And you can absorb that shit too. And sure, that might not be right, but you know what? You have a right to be wrong. In fact, as I remember, that's supposed to be a constitutional thing, First Amendment. Where does the right to be wrong fit into this? So, it's up to me to discern whether that information that is spouted off is valuable
true or untrue
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. If what I can do is I can open up a file in my mind. I can take your information, I can put it in there. I can take information from Donovan Sharp, I can put it in there. I can take information from Kevin Samuels, and I can put it in there. And I can just take the time to absorb it all and spend a lot of time just processing it and observing it. Look at all the other guys' mistakes and learn from them and see if there is a particular validity to that piece of information. Will it change you? Yes. But is there something that it's worth doing? Well, no. I still have to take into the fact that all my guy friends I know have all been divorced, destroyed. And I don't say that R word on your show, but
right.
Where does the responsibility of the individual taking that information come in? Where's the critical thinking skills here?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I think that's a general sentiment we've gotten from most of the callers today. Doug MPA, do you have anything else to ask Matt?
Nope. Always good to talk to you, my brother from the great north.
Thanks for calling in. Call in anytime, okay, Matt?
Sure, will do. You mentioned one more tomorrow. What was tomorrow's question? Because I won't be here because I got an exam to do. It was something about
the male poker face. So when you're across from a woman on a date and she's saying something crazy, and you just gotta just smile and nod because if you answer, it could end up you not getting laid.
I'll give you that answer. I know because I want to give you that because I love this one. This is a good question. The girl that I told you about there about walking, training me horses and stuff, right? How she kind of had a thing for me. She was covered in tattoos all over her arms. Okay, she was actually a really attractive girl. Okay, she had the nose ring and everything too. I could deal with that. And one day, and I can tell something you said, Pearl. Women mirror what they're attracted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she likes going to bands. She likes the tattoos. She said, "You know what? You should go get one, Matt." You know what my response was? I told her the truth, but very clever. I told her I was prohibited from having markings on my body. And she just blew away. She's like, what? See, I knew if I were to tell her, because I don't like them, because I think that they're no good or whatever it was, what she will take that as, well, if I have them and they're no good, then that's just going to kill everything, right?
Right.
But if I were to tell her I was not allowed to have them for whatever reason, right? Then she can't reflect that on herself, right? You have to give her a shocking answer that doesn't make her think that she made a mistake. Or for instance, voting. Who would you vote for? I would say, because I would vote for my county sheriff. I would keep it as local as possible. I don't think that my solutions are in Washington. Okay. In the United States, you can have county sheriffs. Here we can't in Canada. Okay. But the fact is that you could vote for a county sheriff to block bad law. You know what? I would say that. I says, I don't care who is the president of the United States because that has no bearing on my life.
True. That's a good answer. That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, thanks for that, Matt. And I'll see you. I guess not tomorrow, but next time you call in, okay?
Will do. Yep.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
All right. Doug MPA. Any other final thoughts on the topic?
There were a lot of women that were going back and forth in the chat, and none of them called in, which is really sad.
Sad, ladies.
Yeah, because they were getting real hot in the chat. But when you drop the number, they don't tend to come up. Gee, I wonder why that is.
Never. I do it on Instagram. They send me every now and then I get a spurg and I'm like, hey, call in. They never do. Ever. A couple.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
My final thoughts. The red pill space is just a response to 40 years, 50 years of misandry from women. And there are still emerging voices. We need as many voices in the red pill space as possible. Especially more women. I found Pearl, it's been 4 years now? Pearl?
Yeah, probably about 3, 4.
Yeah, right at the beginning. And we need more Pearls. We need more men of all races, colors, and creeds. So if you want to start a channel, go for it, guys. You could be the next person that find your niche and get the message out there.
Totally. And if you want to, just pearlythings@gmail.com, make the subject, I want to start a YouTube channel. If your budget is $500 a month, please don't message me. Please don't. Go to fiverr.com. Anyways, guys. Okay. So a couple announcements. I forgot Friday I'm not doing a show because we're having someone come in this weekend. I'm not going to say who because I want to surprise you guys. We're doing a pre-recorded interview. We are going to do a show tomorrow though. So an extra show tomorrow. And then this weekend, I'm going to film a one-on-one. It's going to be posted next week because I'm out of town next week. So I have a bunch of reactions, a bunch of one-on-ones that are going next week. And tomorrow's topic is going to be the poker face. So if you guys have a story of something crazy a woman said to you on a date or in a relationship and you had to keep a poker face on, please call in and let us know tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you can, join the audacitynetwork.com too. We have a lot of members-only content, and we're going to be adding content And you'll be the first one to know who's coming for the one-on-one, because this person is going to make a course that we're going to upload on what to do or how to loyalty test your girlfriend or catch her, see if she's cheating. Anything else you got, Doug MPA?
Nope. Thanks everyone in the chat on YouTube, and thanks for everyone on the Audacity chat. We really appreciate you guys.
Someone in the chat wanted to know what kind of budget. Roughly, for our results, you can do a channel with less, okay? If you can go to a different editor, but our average is 100K, 50 to 100K in the first year. I've done 3 channels so far. No, 4. One got 40K, one got 100K, one's at 200K, and one got, I think, 30 to 40K. So I've done 4 for a full year, and that's what they've done. So those are exceptional results. We are more expensive. It's roughly 10K a month, up to 15 if you got something more fancy. That's the price range. Okay, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.